Welcome, everybody, back for the 10 o'clock show. Bam! Friday Night Frights. I have with me Paige.
Hi, that's me.
And it's me, Max. If you guys were hanging out with us during our Magic Shop game and you've come over for this, cool, welcome. So what do we got going on here? Paige is playing an FBI agent by the name of Special Agent Jones, and she has been investigating, along with the rest of her team, murders that have been taking place in the Pennsylvania area around Louisville. Was Louisville, right?
Yes. Don't ask me places. I don't think I wrote places in detail.
Well, the good news is that I have maps.
I have places where people died, but I don't have where.
Lewiston, not Louisville, Lewiston. And that's incredibly bright on this side. She has been through the last 3. This is our 3rd game session, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
She's been through the last 3 game sessions, seeking out, trying to find who the murderer is, piece together clues. The local police have been working really hard as best they can. They've had a total of 3 murders. They believe it is a psychotic killer. The killings happen on the full moon. The killer drags the individuals off, dopes them up with drugs, and then with as Paige puts it, a passionate kill, uses a sharp blade to remove their organs. The black market area in this part of Pennsylvania is non-existent. And so when Paige first came out here, Agent Jones really had the belief that this was a werewolf. As time progressed, there were many questions being brought up.
Obviously, it's a werewolf.
Who, what, when, where, and why, all trying to be answered. Many things being confusing. Meeting the people in this town, asking questions. How could you possibly have missed this guy being gone for 2 days? He works the church here, doesn't it? And so there was, and then things started sprouting up. Bits of information, clues, a new source for DNA. One of the reservoirs, one of the I forgot the word that I used for it. It'll come back to me.
I was gonna say, if you give me more detail, I could help out, but
yeah, it was the pond, the water that you found the hair at for the second victim.
That was behind one of those, a building. It was a business building of some sort where I want to say it's like a shipping unit, but I'm horribly wrong.
No, it was a plastic. It was a plastic place. They made plastic totes and whatnot.
Yeah, it was like a river that connected to the city, but they gated it off, and then there was a little pond up the top.
Yeah. Hey, Acid. Hello, radio.
Hello, people.
Stillage. No, it wasn't a reverse osmosis pond. Oh, retention pond. That's what they're called. A retention pond.
Since they don't ask me, I don't know words.
Words are hard.
I'm not smart with vocabulary.
And that evidence led to new questions. Yes, retention pond behind the plastic factory. Agent Jones was then able to get a walk around with the assistant of his... Special Agent Jones was walking around with the assistance of his... Oh my goodness, Acid kept notes. I am incredibly impressed.
I have notes, I just don't have notes on current things. I have notes on the past victims.
But Agent Garrett, Special Agent Garrett, was also there helping out. And they went back to D.C., not D.C., Philadelphia. Isn't that right, Philadelphia?
I thought it was D.C.
D.C.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought our place of work was in DC. I thought because it was like a 3-hour drive or something from.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Beedaloo, beedaloo. I'm looking at the map again, getting reorientated. And survey says...
Good answer, Kat. I agree.
Yeah, GM Cat says it is Philadelphia, that's where your main office is out of. But you also can take an extra drive down to the DC office if you really feel like it. It's not too far away. You're all in the same area. It's the northeastern township.
Yeah.
Hang on one second, everybody. You are breaking the mood. You need to stop. I know what We've had this conversation. We went over the notes before today. Are we done? GM Cat.
From that face, it's been all day, I'm guessing.
She hasn't stopped. She really... The most important part is to talk for her about the old man and the videotape. Right. She says all this other stuff is useless. It's very important information for the story to catch everybody up with the story. But she's trying to tell me that I need to get to the important and the good parts. You got in contact with an older gentleman who has dementia. He is the husband of the second victim. And he... at first meeting, did not know anything, and then at some moment of clarity, he figured things out and made a phone call to you and told you that he had something that is important. And then, near the end of the phone call, he forgot what he was doing. You were able to arrive at his residence and collect the USB, make a copy, watch it with the daughter-in-law, and have evidence, or at least some supporting information by this man who has dementia, in his moment of clarity, that the priest, who might be connected to some of this in some way, shape, or form, has been shuffled around by the church to be kept secret of the things he had been doing. Then, after making this discovery, you received a phone call. See, I'm getting to the part, okay? Okay, good. Then you received a phone call from your partner, who said it very urgent you get back to Philadelphia. The tape... Yep. Shh, please, let me do my part. The tape had been released by the wealthy family who had the really rich-sounding name. The Waldendorf family had released the tape, that they had kept the security cameras up and running, and no one outside of the office was to see this, and no copy of the tape was to leave the office. As at this point in time, it's trying to understand what was seen. And we're going to go over that real quick.
Go for it, man.
The father was seen in the videotape walking on his normal course up the street. And then on a return course, the camera sits pointing up the street that he walks on. There is a large gap between the edge of the building, the sidewalk, the parking lot. There's plenty of room. And there's a street light. And it's perfect. But there's no way without some sort of alteration that this happened. But in that moment, behind the priest, as he was walking, a small child, small blonde-haired girl with pink skin. And when I say pink, I'm referring to the color of bubblegum pink. Pink skin, blonde hair. And that's about the best of the detail. And it's a nice camera. The best of the detail that can be determined appears out of thin air to be standing on the sidewalk, casting a shadow behind the priest. Maybe she makes a noise. Maybe she doesn't. But what you do know is she raises her hand, reaching out toward him. And there is at least 12, 15, maybe even 17 feet between the two of them. Almost 20 feet. And he stops to turn around. And he sees this girl and walks over to her. Her skin tone is vibrant and clear in the darkness because the camera is color. When he gets close, they have a conversation. Something is exchanged. He looks around, confused, asking questions, pointing about. Maybe he's trying to communicate to this girl. Where are you from? Are your parents nearby? Are you okay? She's wearing a simple white dress. It doesn't look like she's wearing shoes. It looks like she's barefoot. And her legs have that same pink coloration as the rest of her body. Her face, in the darkness, you can see it's vibrant underneath that the curly blonde hair. And then there's an exchange of some type where he begins kind of like pointing around. And then she reaches out with her hand for his hand. And so he takes her hand to try to start guiding her. But then there's a tug, a momentary tug. And you can see the large man, almost 6 foot tall, give a pull against this child. And she pulls back even harder. He stumbles. As he tries to pull his hand away, she grabs with both hands and begins pulling on him. It becomes a physical tug of war. This child, who is about 8 years in size, 8-year-old girl, vibrant pink skin, grabs him by the wrist with her 2 hands and pulls him hard enough to pull him off of his feet, and then begin dragging him off the sidewalk and into the parking lot, away from the camera and away from the streetlight. He struggles, he kicks, he thrashes, he tries to even grab a hold of the brake, the large concrete parking divider, to hold on to it, but he can't. She must be pulling so hard that his fingers just pop right off of it, just slide right off as if there's no resistance. And then into the darkness he goes. Almost 2 days later, he's found face down in the water at the quarry. Same. Eyes had been surgically removed. Stomach had been cut open. His guts had been cut open. And all of his organs cut out with a small, sharp blade. And now we find ourselves standing in the office. Their heads staring, they're agents here with years of experience staring at this, watching. And Watanabe, just after watching the video the 3rd time through with you, she's already probably watched it a dozen times. She goes,
"Oh yeah,
the shadow. Is that a real shadow? Or is that CGI? Did somebody fake this?" And that's what she starts off with. This has to be fake. Nobody else answers. They all begin taking notes and writing things down. I want to find out who can do this. I want to gain access to the original images. I want a search warrant for the Waldendorf's security cameras. I don't want to wait. I want it now. I want to seize their cameras and get the original footage, because they even said that this is a copy due to what their lawyers told us. I believe this has been edited for whatever reason. Some sort of sick cover-up. She turns to 2 of the other agents who are amongst the team and says, "You 2 will get on this immediately. We don't want any chance that the real tape will be destroyed." She turns to Brown and Butler. "Wake up. Get whoever you can to get a warrant to get your hands on the original tape. And it needs to be done before the end of the day." And it's already like 1:30.
great."
She looks around the room to start making eye contact with everybody. She gets around to you.
Yeah, Elliot's looking at this footage. She's rewinding it at certain parts of, like, when, what's his name? Father, I want to say Tommy.
Tommy Reed, Father Reed.
Yeah. When he, like, gets pulled and dragged and he's rewinding it and stuff, and I don't know anything about computers. But I do a side glance to Garrett.
Who knows a lot about computers.
Exactly. And, I mean, Elliot's just gonna give him this look of, I don't think this is doctored at all, but you would know anything.
You also know about
everyone in this job. I feel like he would know off the top of his head.
But you do have a skill that could be useful at this point in time.
Supernatural. 'Cause I'm
No.
so smart. Oh.
Martial arts.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because of fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
Being tugged.
You know what happens when you grab a man by his wrist and pull him to the ground and drag him across the ground.
I shall roll that.
Go for it.
Hand to hand. I have a plus
Hand to hand. We're using a homegrown game system. It's very skill-based. There aren't attributes, air quotes. You won't have a strength stat or a dexterity stat. You have experience that is related to combat, defensive, and everything's based on 3d6 and skills and perks and abilities. Paige?
9 out of 10. Or 11, rather.
9 out of 11.
Not a good roll to start out with.
When the girl grabs a hold of his wrist, you watch that she swept her leg back and she stood with a wide hip-like stance, and then she started pushing with her forefoot. A child of 8 years old could not grab a man by his wrist and make that maneuver unless she had a lot of mass or a lot of physical strength above and beyond what a child of her age should have. But her stance definitely clarifies in your mind that's a defensive takedown move. That girl knew what she was doing. She knew how to take down a full-grown man.
Well, Elliot will point that out to Garrett, because I'm sure Garrett and Guantanabe are standing near him. And he'll simply gesture to it as he's rewinding, and he'll start explaining this is a defensive tactic. You usually just use it to subdue your opponent, but in this case, it looks like she's been using it to make him defensive and drag him off. But not even a child of that size would be able to do that. She would need definitely a heavier weight and strength.
Watanabe just looks at you with disbelief. No child could drag someone off like that, not even with any level of experience in martial arts or hand-to-hand. Yeah. She shakes her head in complete disbelief, and Garrett pops in and says, I'm pretty sure I would notice if this was doctored. Also, if it was doctored and that child's fake, and they're using the proper techniques to digitally animate the child in that manner, it makes it easier to find the person because they really put a lot of effort into making it look real, both in sense and in physics. And he shrugs. That's a lot of wasted time when you're covering up what really happened. And he just looks at her because, he's made a motion to where his feet are mostly pointing in your direction. His shoulders are pointing in your direction, but his face is toward her, which, from your understanding, he's communicating to you, I'm on your side. This is not, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to roll my supernatural as well.
Go for it.
Alright, breast die. I see you. What am I rolling? Supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
Good, that's 13 or more. I think I'm blacking out right now.
No.
I think I got exactly 13.
Okay.
Or wait, no, I got 12.
You got 12.
I'm an idiot. I can't do math. I got 12.
The downside of this game is requires some math skills. The upside is that +1s and 2s can make a world of difference when it comes to determining how well things are because of the bell curve. Math, again. When you look at the screen, you're thinking about the color, the child's textures, the face, every question's running through your head.
The strength, even.
The strength. And the only thing that you can come across, the one thing that you... Full moon, dark, night, organs, color child. Vampire.
Yeah, that's all I'm just thinking.
Legendary vampires. Someone could have been turned. Maybe that's the way their skin looks after a while. Maybe she's a fresh vampire. You have no experience with vampires. And you probably don't want experience with vampires.
No, not yet.
You do have one other piece of information to work on. That dog, though.
Yeah.
The nights correspond.
Were those the same night, or was that different?
I was one night. The nights correspond. The dog was the night before. This videotape's date.
Would I know, because that dog doesn't contact. It doesn't come in contact with an actual human being. There's like no physical touch, right? It was just like it was lifted, chucked at the wall, and then it skittered off, right?
Yep.
Do I know if vampires have telekinesis? Or some level of magic?
They can fly?
Yeah.
Maybe. The fact that you have a lot of experience in what vampires are about, but no actual experience with vampires, makes your knowledge skill useful, but falls short for a lot of things. You'll be able to say, I know a wooden stake is necessary to keep a vampire from raising from the dead after you put it down. I know severing its head is important. I know that it cannot be rested in the earth from where it came from, you know. So there's a lot of things you do know.
Are there any like myths or folklore on the internet that say if they have certain abilities? Because there's some that, like, obviously that would say like they're strong, they have enhanced speed, blah blah blah. I don't know if we're going off of that same realistic aspect, which if you actually like Google it in real life, it's probably one of them that would come up. But like, is there anything like that would suggest abilities of that nature, of telekinesis or being able to move things?
No. So the way the dog acted, if it got knocked to one side, that is outside the bounds of what a vampire technically has the capability of doing. If the dog will stretch out without actually physically seeing the dog or, you know, making contact with the dog, you're not sure. I mean, it could be dead, it could be alive. It could be a witness. It might be helpful.
Yeah.
The dog could have thrown itself out of fear to get away from whatever it saw.
That's another thing. Does it look, from what I remember, and I can make a memory check if necessary, but like from what I remember, was it like, oh shit, there it is, and then it just turns and like hits a pole and then backs off and sprints away?
Maybe. We can go rewatch the tape if you want to. Garrett, Garrett has a copy of that tape here in the office.
Oh, good. Well, I'll think of that and we can do that later. I mean, what we can do, and Elliot will say this out loud, to Guantanamo at least, what we can do, because it's 1:30 in the morning, and let's be honest, the company that has that tape is probably not going to be open. What Garrett and I can do, or just I, if you need Garrett here, we can head to that parking lot where this videotape is from, and we can see if there's any evidence of a scuffle. If, you know, he was dragged off in a certain direction, we could follow that path. I mean, we would need really good investigators for that, but that's the only other way that I can think of confirming that this is actually real.
Guantanamo says, okay, so I'm going to reach out to the audience. I don't, and you as well, I don't think it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it was
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's
So
either...
you said 1 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, no, it's not that late. It's about 1:30 going into 2 o'clock, and she's asking people to double down and start doing shit that they, excuse my French, things that are going to take like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours to do, and everybody knows this, and it's like, are you kidding? It's Friday. You want me to start working on something that I won't be done till like 10 tonight? You know, that's what people are thinking at this point in time. She doesn't care. This is about a murderer. This is about a strange thing. This is about, in her point of view, people obstructing justice because they have edited the tape and put in there a girl dragging a man away. Yeah.
Well, Elliot will still offer to go out and investigate that, but yeah, he is going to mention twice if needed, we're going to need a good team that knows what they're doing and knows about tracking or anything of a scuffle, anything of that awareness. That
she will give a nod, and she says we will tap resources from the DC office as well as the New York office and start looking for any investigative teams that can come out and start helping gather clues. One of the things we want to keep down, though, is we have less than 2 weeks before the next full moon, and if this killer is going to strike again, we don't want them to know that we're here, because they might change the timetable. And she's making like direct contact with your eyes. If we change the timetable and he or she gets another kill, and that's of course when Brown points out it's most likely a male, and she goes, "There's a child in the video," and he goes, "Males are more prone to being having psychotic fits," and you can see she's frustrated. We don't have the opportunity to expose ourselves. I will get in touch with the other offices. I will try to get a team. We will try to be as
stealthy as
discreet as possible. Yes. For right now, and she's just barking out orders, laying out things that people need to do. This is what I want to check. I want this warrant. She starts laying stuff out. Garrett comes over to you and he gives a nudge, and he stands close enough. He goes, there's some information that I got back from the video I want to share with you before we talk about it. If you come with me. It's about the dog.
Okay. Yeah, of course. And he'll get off of leaning the table that the video is on, and he'll follow Garrett.
So as you guys are walking toward his office, she yells out, "I need confirmation about whatever program did this CGI. There's got to be some way we can trace that." And Garrett gives a nod. There is. We can do that. And he walks, into his little cubicle area and sits down, starts playing with his computer. He brings up a copy of the video everybody else has just been watching. Fast forward to the time period in which the girl has got a hold of the priest's hand. He hits a couple of buttons. He opens up, takes a screenshot of one, and then he sits there and he opens up the other video. Making a small compilation, he brings up the information, clicking on the girl's skin tone, and it comes up with a hex code. It's like, okay, this is her skin tone. He punches the buttons a few times, brings it over to the video image of the scene with the dog. He then begins clicking through all of the pictures. He takes the picture out of that still frame and then begins clicking through, looking at the hex codes on the actual reflection. He says, "This is not accurate, but," and begins noticing the hex code, the symbol, the letters are very similar, meaning that they are in the pink or magenta range. So that tiny sliver of color in the actual reflection, he's like, I can enhance it. He can, and you're not going to see shit, but he's basically showing that there is by taking out by filtering out the reflection of white light, for the most part, he's detecting a lot of pink color in that reflection, and he says it could possibly be something, but when he clicks around the area where that strip is, it comes back as like a darker color, the white light, so it's almost like nighttime or black color. And he goes, right here, there's a reflection of something that is primarily pink. I found that, and so I think that our killer isn't just walking around one night. I think our killer is walking around at least a night or two before striking.
It's probably getting the layout of the land, probably. That or seeing what they can get their hands on.
He's setting up for some sort of ambush where he can find his victim, somebody who's actually out at that time at night. But, I mean, it makes sense with the priest, but it doesn't make sense with the first two victims. When we talked to the family of Bender, he was coming home that night from work, and he stops. He's coming home from that night. He might have worked the night beforehand.
He could have.
Our killer might know. Might have been watching him at his job and then planning that ambush.
The thing right now that's on my head is this. And he sets down the flash drive that he got from that family.
He looks at it. What's this?
That is a video of the gentleman that I interviewed, the man with dementia.
Van Hawk.
Apparently he remembered and knew that he was going to have dementia soon, so he recorded himself, and he thinks, or what's the correct word? He thinks that what's his name? Father, that's not right, is it?
Jones.
Father Jones?
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna say, even Elliot's gonna be like, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Same name.
Yeah, he believes that Father Jones is bad and was doing something with kids, and that Tess had evidence for that.
What? Wasn't Father Jones the one who called 911? He had heard some noise. His church door was damaged.
Beats me. It could be before, after. I mean, this could be a completely separate case, for all I know. But he believes that happened, and that's why Tess was dead. I mean, there's multiple other ways of... I don't know. I mean, I could say that there's other ways of contacting supernatural entities and actually
he
having
stops
this
and leans
happen,
back
but,
when
like,
you say that.
Look, that's the only thing that I'm thinking of right now. This is everything in my head is pointing towards the V word, but
He shrugs. The V word? What's the V word?
vampires. I just don't. He like gets really quiet. He goes, "I don't want to say it out loud right now. All right? You kidding me? We're in the middle of work in a cubicle. Guantanabe's throwing a fit. I'm not going to start spouting that it's a vampire."
He's like, all right. I get it. We all got our suspicions. He reaches over and takes the drive. Can I...
Go for it. Yeah.
Do you want to share this with Watanabe? Because, I mean, if she finds out you've got it and says nothing, and you say nothing...
I'm going to have to. I mean,
all right. He
I'll
plugs it
lose
in.
my badge if I don't.
Punches some buttons, hits the go button, pops it back out. All right, I'll take a look at it later. Here. I mean, it might not be related, but it might be related. So...
That's the only thing that's throwing me off. Like I said, it could be a completely different case. I mean, Father Jones could have just called 911 and because of the disturbance, because he was actually genuinely scared, but this could have happened, and he'll point at like the video and the flash drive. This could have happened ages ago, and these two things somehow connect, but aren't connected. If that makes any sense.
No, he's like, I understand. I mean... I'll give it a watch. Just keep the V stuff down.
Obviously.
He begins playing with the program. Are you going back out to Lewiston tonight?
I guess I have to. I think I'm gonna try following the trail that I suggested to Guantanabe. It's gonna take some time to get an actual team out there, and I'm not very perceptive, but that's all I have right now.
All right.
The other thing is
I'll go with.
Of it.
I'll go with you.
You sure?
Yeah, I mean, The wife might be mad, but this is important. It's just, let me get some stuff taken care of here. Let's talk to Watanabe about what you found. I'm going to try to find any evidence of alteration in this video, and then we'll take a ride out.
Sounds good. And he'll grab the flash drive and kind of give it a shake, and he'll start walking up his cubicle to Guantanamo.
All right. We're going to fast forward through this part. When she watches this, she is white-knuckled on the edge of her desk, like this is... She's just, like, making notes and staring, and then she's like, how does this fit in? And she begins grilling you, and you reveal everything that you found at this point in time. And Garrett will even chew in and say that, hey, this video was filmed the day after she disappeared. So this was in correlation. This isn't an old video that was filmed. This is a video that was filmed after she disappeared, and this was his confession of, I think this is what happened. And so, after everything's said and done, when Watanabe is asking questions, she's like, we need to find out if Father Jones has any relation with the other two victims. Before a live studio audience. With any of the other victims. If there is a relation, then he might. And if we can have suspectable reasons to believe he is the killer, and we can put him away and the killings stop, I'm willing to take that step. Garrett kind of pulls back because he's a very big advocate of having enough evidence to actually pin it on somebody. He withdraws from Watanabe's statement at that point in time. And Watanabe says, so, I'm going to need you to go back out to Lewiston. And she's looking directly at you. I need you to talk to Jones. See if you can worm anything out of him. Get him some information. Get him talking about things. We'll work behind the scenes and see if we can find out exactly where he's been in the past and what other allegations could possibly be. Reach out to... we know that Father Reed and him were friends. They had a relationship. There might be probable cause, being that he has become... Maybe he has psychopathic tendencies. There's a possibility he decided to turn on his friend. Find out if he... Reach out to the Bender family and see if they have any relation to Father Jones. If they do, then that will be an extra lead. That's just one more reason to bring him in for questioning before the next full moon.
Very well. I think the team that is searching the old house that they lived in, Tessa's old house, apparently, according to her daughter, that her mother was searching for something. And that could be the evidence. If they do find anything in that house, that could also help us, and that would be more than probable cause to bring this guy in.
Good. We have a lead. We have a possible answer. Garrett goes, the video shows a small girl, and she's... Watanabe, still frustrated, turns to him and says, the video has been doctored. I guarantee you the Waldendorfs have some reason to doctor the video to protect the priest. This is my notion at this point in time moving forward. It's a direction to work at. And Garrett busts out with, you can't just throw evidence together and create a case because you're probably going to be accusing the wrong person. And Watanabe stands up and says, you need to go work on what I put in front of you. And they're yelling at each other now.
Oh, great.
And she says,
he kind of sighs and he gives a minute and he kind of he does it. He pats Garrett on the shoulder like, you know, that's enough type of thing. And he gives Guantanamo a look and he tries to calm them down. And he simply states, he goes, Garrett, show her the video that you showed me with the dog. That could help. It's not just a coincidence that both of those colors that was actually in that video.
So she watches it. She stares at it for a moment, shakes her head. And this is a video from the other bank. She looks at the two of you. This is circumstantial to support that there is a little girl out there with unordinary strength dragging him into the darkness. But that doesn't seem plausible. What seems plausible is a wealthy family covering up for a priest's wrongdoing and his psychopathic tendencies now.
And we'll look into that. But I agree with Garrett. We can't just walk up to Father Jones and take him in. Even speaking to him. If you don't want to poke the bear, so to speak, then we probably shouldn't worm more information out of him. It would be more suspicious, and he would get more suspicious with it. Obviously, we're talking about a murder. This video, and he shakes the flash drive around. This video could have been about something completely different, and it just so happens to be within the same time frame as these murders. You need to keep that in mind. Just because it's impossible or improbable doesn't mean that it's impossible. It could be. There's multiple different ways of... We'll look into it. But for right now, don't go hog wild.
Do talk to the priest, though. Do go speak with him. Ask him about seeing the door, because I've read your reports. You didn't see the door. Give this as an opportunity to walk around his office and look for any mistake or evidence that might be laying out that'd be worthwhile. If he's good, he will already have covered up his trail. Because to him, this is a game. Killing these people is a game. Hiding the evidence. He believes he's smarter than us and that he'll just get away with it.
Babe, I have a problem. I'm stepping on the cord and I can't move.
Hang on one second. I've got to go save my wife.
Alright, have fun. Chat, how's it going? How's it going tonight? The V words aren't keeping you down. When I said V word, I was thinking... I was thinking of certain lady parts. When I said it, so I was trying not to die.
No, I'm fine then.
Good, I'm good. I'm glad you're doing good, Asa. I'm good. I've been stressed this entire week. That's been fun.
Yeah, the plug you need.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who was thinking dirty when I said the V word.
The house will burn down. We'll all die, and it'll be terrible. And Paige will be.
No, but I've been stressed this entire week. I have been unable to draw this entire week. I just started drawing and doodling yesterday, so it's been a whole roller coaster. Did you save your wife?
Yes. So she stepped in the door and stepped on the fan cord, and it went all crazy and the fan was falling. Her hands were full of alcohol because she's drinking rum cokes. Anyways.
See, when you say that she was drinking, now it's just you should probably take that drink away.
Nah, she's a grown woman.
A grown woman that got caught on a fan wire.
Yeah, that happens all the time, right?
I'm clumsy. I get it.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. This is totally alcohol, not tea.
All right. The moment diffuses. Garrett steps back. She takes a look at the video. She looks at it a little bit, and like I said, she tells you, he thinks this is a game, and he's trying to win, just like every other psychopath. We have to catch him when he makes a mistake, and we will. We have much more smarter people than him. We have much more capable techniques and devices. I believe he'll make a mistake, and then this will be all over, and there won't be a fourth victim. That's what I want to avoid.
I think we're all in agreement that that is what we want to avoid. We will look into it. We'll talk to the priest again, see the door, perhaps even look around the area. If he has... I'm not sure if he is what you think he is. He'll probably have evidence of the organs and the things that he cut out from the victims. I doubt that they would be on that premises, but we'll look.
Maybe even the weapon.
Possibly.
Okay. Get out so I can call DC. She laughs after saying it.
Yeah, basically, Elliot just gives her a salute wave and pulls Garrett along.
Garrett is not happy.
No.
He's pissed. So, Garrett makes effort to get things organized. He reaches out to his wife, says, I'll be going back to Lewiston. Oh, she's upset, but she'll get over it.
Just imagine, like, like, hold on, I gotta call my wife, and Elliot's like, oh, that'll be fun. And then all you hear on the other line is, and he's like, I know. Like,
Okay.
during the argument, Elliot's just like, tell Abby I said hi. Like,
yeah, he'll come up to the thing and be like, yeah.
She's still yelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess onwards we go to Lewiston.
All right. So by the time everything's taken care of, calls have been made, he's got a chance. Garrett takes a moment to go home and see his wife for about 2 hours. You get a chance to gather some clean clothes, get a shower, eat some food.
Yeah. Yes. All of those sound nice.
You get back into the car and you head back to the office, stop by, start going through all the information. Everybody, the fast warrant is in effect. They're trying to get a hold of the information. Just like Ace had said.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
pretty much.
A lot of things are moving. When Garrett goes to Watanabe and says, I'm going to Lewiston, she goes, no, I need you here so that we can take a look at the video. The warrant just got cleared and we're going to go see it. You're not going to Lewiston. Who's going with Jones? Jones is a big boy. He can handle this on his own. He's not going to be anywhere. He's not going to be putting himself in danger. Garrett says, always 2 special agents. Never one. This isn't a solo mission. This isn't James Bond. And he says it in such a snarky, sharp way. She just makes dead eye contact back. Okay. Fair enough. I need you to go back over the videos. Since that's going to happen, let's pick somebody else in the office who's not busy to go back to Lewiston. And, you know, at this point in time, she goes, we don't have anybody. We're short-staffed. Jones is going. He'll be fine. You'll be fine. She looks to you. You'll be fine, right?
Ellie just kind of thinks a minute, and then he goes, I'm good. he pats Garrett on the shoulder and gives him a reassuring squeeze.
He just shakes his head.
Garrett does have a point, however. And if Father Jones is as psychopathic as he seems, most psychopaths are actually intelligent. And if he catches on, I'll carry my gun. But that's all I can do.
Watanabe says, there are field agents there as well doing investigation. You can pull somebody off that detail. Have them come with you for the few maybe 2 hours that you might be doing that.
I'll be fine.
Okay. I trust you. This is still her speaking. I trust you. I know you can handle yourself. Good luck. And she goes back. Garrett stands there and watches you as you walk out.
Yeah, he gives him a, well, hey, you get to stay home, and you'd have to call Abby back and tell her that you're gonna come home. But he gives him finger guns as he leaves.
Garrett gives you finger guns back. You're not more than 20 minutes down the road, and he texts you and goes, I just want to say, on the record, this is shitty.
Yeah. Elliot, as he's at a stoplight or some shit. Don't text and drive. Elliot, texts back basically like, I agree. This is bullshit.
She's looking at this as a possibility for her next promotion. This is more about her career and less about our safety. You're not supposed to be going out there alone.
It could be. But I also agree with her that if this is looking at this in a realistic sense, if this is what it is, if we think that it's Father Jones, then she's 100% correct. That we need to put him at least behind some sort of door or bars before the next full moon, but I don't think it's realistic. I think it's something else. I don't know what you're thinking, but...
And he'll tell you, I don't know yet. Nobody's given me anything credible. Vampires, crazy rich families, none of it makes sense. Nothing. There's got to be another answer that makes this world seem, this situation reasonable and understandable. You need to drive safe. I'll call you in the morning.
He'll just send a thumbs up emoji.
The drive out, because by this time it's now like 6 o'clock, so you're not going to get into Lewiston until like close to 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You can easily call ahead, get another room set up for you. Bam.
Cool.
All right. So we can now fast forward. Is now the 6th of April. Saturday morning. Bam. You got some good night's sleep? Talk to me.
I mean, yeah, I think the first thing is going to be heading towards Father Jones. He didn't give me a phone number or anything, so I'm hoping that he's actually in that church, and if not, I'll ask around, but
sure.
That's all I have to go on right now. So
yeah, all right. So you get there Saturday morning about what time?
Saturday. I'm gonna say let's do, I don't know, 10 a.m.
Cool. So you've swung through town somewhere, got you a bite to eat.
Yeah, and I think that's the same town. Yeah, I think while this is happening, for breakfast at least, Elliot's gonna go to that bank and pay $3 because it's probably not his bank to get money out. And while he's there, he's going to look around, even if my awareness is shit. He'll look around to see if there was a scuffle near where that video was taken. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Go ahead. Make your roll. This counts as investigation. I assume you're going to be walking around for a bit.
Yeah, and then after unless he doesn't find anything, like, oh shit, there's an actual path, he'll go get breakfast. Ooh. 8 out of 11.
Okay. You begin walking around, you're looking into the parking lot. You walk up to the park. You're walking toward the part of the sidewalk where the concrete divider is, where that happened. You can feel the skin on your spine going up to your back suddenly start to crawl and spread across your shoulders. Goosebumps raise across your arms as you get in there. You begin looking around. Because in your mind's eye, you can see from the point of view of the camera. You look over your shoulder. There's the camera looking at you. You begin looking at the way the concrete lays and be walking across the parking lot, the empty parking lot for the old theater across from the bank. You kind of begin looking for anything. You get over, there's high grass on the other side that's not been mowed or anything. You begin looking around. There's an old car nearby. So you walk over there and begin looking for any kind of signs of anything. And there's the license plate is bent like it's been pulled outward, and there's like an area from where the car sits that you're looking across the way. There's a high ridge of trees, probably about a good 30 to 40 yards away from where you're at. And it kind of lulls both to the left and to the right, making like little dips and valleys, and then goes behind houses and whatnot to other side streets. But this like is a straight shot up a small hill, and what looks like it goes into wilderness on the other side. Otherwise, he would have been dragged by this girl to behind some houses, in either toward the left past the car, because that's your assumption. There was a straight line from that concrete to the car, and then from there, this is where it spreads out. Is there a trail? Go ahead.
It would also make sense because, I mean, you're not going to murder a guy in the neighborhood unless they were taking him to a house. And I'm sure anybody would see someone being dragged. So, unless it's like a coven and the whole neighborhood are vampires.
Exactly. Remember also that the victims all were filled with drugs that made them feel nothing.
Yeah.
They were conscious to the event, but they were not in any kind of pain.
That drug, right? That's like is that a common drug that you can find on the shelves?
No, it's a drug that was removed from the shelves. I'm looking for the name of it. Aldurazodone is the drug in question. Aldurazodone. And he had high levels in it. Aldurazodone was used as a numbing agent because it's an on-contact numbing, and these people were filled with it, so it was either injected into them or something. They drank a whole bunch of it.
If I Google aldurazone...
Yeah, it was a chemical used back in World War II by the Nazis as a medical agent for the purpose of doing field surgery because it was great, but they stopped using it because of the hallucinated effects, the long-term disillusion that the patient would have afterwards.
And when did they stop selling off shelves?
Probably about 1949 is when they just everybody pretty much just stopped using it because the side effects were too intense.
If I Google... I mean, this is going to take a while, but... If I Google, like, full moon killings or, killings in the past year or two, that have the same description as what we're going through, are there any? None. So this is brand new.
Brand new.
That ruins my theory. Okay. Well, shit. Elliot's gonna get breakfast. He's gonna keep that trail in mind. He'll head to the church.
All right.
Immediately after.
10 o'clock, you arrive outside of Sacred Heart.
This is what, April 6th?
April 6th, yeah. You've been in town you've been playing around with this for you've had 7 days, because it was the first when you got into town, but you started doing stuff with it before the April 1st.
Yeah.
Yes, we are doing 2019. So it's this year.
Yeah.
So that's right. You arrive at the church. Sacred Heart looks great. Just like you left it last time. Nothing out of the ordinary.
That's good.
Roll with it. What happens next?
Well, if this is a safe town, the church is open, I'm guessing. So I'm just going to try opening up the door.
Bam! You walk in.
Great. Is there anyone that's walking around?
At this point in time, you're walking in the room. There's two elderly women sitting in one of the pews. They seem to be having a private conversation. As you walk in, they don't. One turns to notice you, but they continue their private and quiet conversation. On the other end, you see a woman probably in her 50s. She's wearing like a hand-knit shawl, and she seems to be decorating or cleaning some of the things in the nave.
Okay. I'll go down to what's her face, the receptionist. That's like in like that office area. What was her name? God.
Leanne?
Yeah. If she's there, because I would imagine that area is open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go there and if she's working, I'll ask
so
her.
access to the offices are either are from outside. You have to go outside the building, and then there's an access to the lower floors. Because there's the whole church has been made so it's one floor without stairs going down, so that there's more floor space in the church for church. And the offices are underground, and there's a side entrance, side staircase that goes off to one side.
Okay.
So you go down, go through the glass doors, walk up to Flynn's office. She's in. She's sitting there. Two children in the room with her, and neither of them, by the way, have pink skin. Let's just start with that. Let's just start right there. One of them's like coloring. The other one is currently sitting on the floor, and he's got a Barbie doll and Godzilla, and the two of them are fighting.
Rooting for Godzilla because I grew up with that movie.
Flynn stops what she. Leanne stops what she's doing. Looks up. Jones, Agent
There
Jones.
you go.
She smiles at her realization. Her office is cluttered. It definitely looks like she hasn't really organized things, because the other day things looked a little organized.
Yeah.
She apologizes that she's in the midst of getting things set up for summer activities and whatnot. Please forgive the mess. How can I help you?
That's fine. I'm actually looking for Father Jones.
She goes, he could be down in his office? Have you checked there yet?
I have not. Perhaps you can help me. I'm looking for the old door that was... the one that was broken.
The old door? Oh gosh, we had a repairman take care of that. She begins playing around with like a pile of cards. He has the receipt book in his office. You'd have to go ask him. I'll take you there. And she says, Kenny and Tanya, stay here. I'll be right back. And she steps out of the room and begins escorting you down the hall to Father Jones's office. Doesn't take you long. You walk through all of the other like peripheral rooms that are in the basement of the church. Kitchen, dining area. Yeah, they've got it's a nice church. They've got a lot of stuff going on here, some sort of daycare and whatnot. And you get to his office. He's sitting at his desk. He too seems to have a small collection of paperwork that he's currently reading through and writing. He's got a nice button-up shirt on. He's not dressed as if he's a father at this point in time. He's dressed as like more of a businessman, and he's got his glasses on. So when you walk up and she introduces you, he stops what he's doing, puts his pen down. Oh, good to see you, Agent Jones. You will stand up, shake your hand.
Yeah.
Please have a seat. How can I help?
Yeah, Elliot pulls out a chair, swivels it, and sits on it. He kind of leans forward and he goes, I actually need to see that door. And Leanne told me that you have the receipt book and the repairman took it.
The door?
The
and
old
he
door
kind
that
of
was
stares
broken
at you confused. The one that got damaged?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Give me a minute. And he begins opening drawers and thumbing around. You can see the man's life is chaotic inside the drawers. So, like, it's outside, it's not so chaotic. He opens the drawers. It's a nightmare. As in one drawer, things come out. And so he, like, fiddles through wads of paper, and he, at some point, pulls out a wad of paper with stuff stapled to it. and he'll be like, "Here you go," and he slides it across, and Tyler's in-home construction work, and it's a repair bill for the door. It's like over $5,000 to replace that door because it's stained, it's particular size. There's relief work on it, the glass in particular, names and stuff. And the father says, "Why would you need to see the door?"
Well, it could be anything. It could be if there's paint on it, say a car ran into it, or someone took a large battering ram to it or some sort.
Oh, I would have figured the police had looked at that thing enough when they did see it the first time. I mean, it just looked smashed in. I wouldn't know by what. I wish I could tell you something. But he would know what happened to that door.
Yeah, I'll ask around. What is the receipt? What's the store name? The repairman's name?
Tyler. It says Tyler Construction on it.
Tyler Construction.
It's got a number, address, all that kind of good stuff.
Sweet.
And he will say kindly, he says, Tyler has done a lot of work for the church, a lot of restoration. He's very good at keeping it authentic and as close to, or it is as original in appearance as possible. The churches do fall apart over time, and so I have no complaints about his work.
Must be good, especially for your price that you paid. And he'll say it jokingly and hand back the receipt.
He gives a nod. It is a one-of-kind door. That door had been there for the last 80 years, so it had done its job very well. I wanted to make sure to replace it with the most equivocal.
Sorry, I was reading chat.
That's fine. So we get so focused in on the conversations that we're having about this mystery, and then all of a sudden somebody in chat says something about drumming up business. Yeah, it's totally the handyman busting doors to make more business. I mean, $5,000 for one door. I can't even imagine.
Some people. Elliot kind of leans back in his chair and he goes, "Well, thank you for that information. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask a couple more questions I need to clear up. I've been going over my notes and I realized I didn't ask you some things." And
oh, of course. This can wait. And he pushes his paperwork to one side. This is more important. Please ask me anything.
if I side glance at his paperwork, just curiously, what is it?
You see lists of names. You see something about foil pans. Like
Probably the summer activities, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Looks like materials for cookout or something.
Oh. Church cookout. Those exist. I've been to one in my past. It was terrible.
You went to the wrong one. I've been to some that are just bloody amazing.
It wasn't terrible. The food was really good, but like what was terrible? What was terrible was because I was like preteen and I was wearing like certain things, and someone who was like working at there wanted to like, I don't know, help me in some way, and I was like, I'm good, thanks. And I like ran up to my mom. I was like, we gotta go. People are giving me looks.
The best way to get anyone at a church to leave you alone is to dive into the bushes that have the hornet's nest. It worked for me as a child. No one at the church wanted to help me as I was being swarmed by hornets.
Oh my god!
Yep.
That's terrible!
I was 8 years old, and we were playing hide and go seek, and I dived into the bushes with the hornets in it. Man, they were so happy that I found those hornets because it could have gotten bad. Somebody else might have got stung. I got tore up. Found out I was allergic to them. Luckily,
oh my god!
Luckily, the hospital was no more than 3 blocks away, so they were able to carry me into the hospital going, this child's swelling up like the girl out of Willy Wonka. Somebody needs to do something.
Wow.
Now.
So this is why I'm not religious. With other things.
All right.
But yeah, back
so,
to the game. Elliot will, he'll start with Tess, because he actually knew her. How well did you know Tess?
Ooh, my heart sinks when I think to that poor woman and her husband. None of it makes sense. She had taken to the bottle, you know. And I had found out about it. I had talked to her and told her this kind of activity from such a good woman is not... It's not good. It's something that is unbecoming of her. And she was less than agreeable with me. She had a lot of things on her mind, apparently, going on, especially with her husband's dementia. I talk frankly about this because you are doing an investigation. I want to make sure that the things I discuss are appropriate. These people confide in me, but this is not anything that I'm not talking... Anything that I'm talking about isn't rumors, it is general knowledge. But if it is something more of a private nature, you have to understand that I will only be able to give it out in the utmost confidence. It was known that Tess had started drinking, and it was assumed that it was in relation to her husband's dementia getting worse. She stopped coming to confessions and talking about that in particular, and those things that she did confess, I can't directly discuss. You must understand that part. Confessions are purely between, I think it's called the papal and the priest or something like that.
Yeah.
For those of you who do know, please correct me. I don't know. I'm not Googling it this time.
Though I think I could be horribly wrong, but it's actually, I mean, we would need a warrant to get those confessions if they're written or recorded. But it's kind of, it's not like a therapist. A therapist is like legally, like they are not allowed to talk about their person. But like I feel like a church confession, that's not like legally or illegal
protected
or anything of that. That's just moral. That I
yes,
think
if the moral guidance tells them not to sack, and that's what he's telling you. He's like, I can't. You know, the church has to tell them, hey, you can talk about that stuff. They have guidelines. They have guidelines, you know. If somebody comes up and be like, I like to stick firecrackers up my butt, they call somebody.
Well, yeah.
They're like, you need to stop that. And you need help.
I just want to hear that confession, because you know that priest in that other side of that confessional booth just went, like, what?
Yeah.
God, we're getting so off track. Elliot will kind of nod and goes, yes, you've mentioned that before, that she turned to drinking. When did you know that her husband was going through the dementia? Was it when she was going through the confessionals, or did you find out on your own through rumors?
I found out through secondhand knowledge, through people talking, through noticing her actions and change, and that made me aware that something was going on. I didn't hear it directly from her. I heard it from, I believe it was her daughter-in-law, said that her father-in-law was not well. That her, Vanessa's husband, was not well. And the assumption was made at that point in time it might be dementia, and then it was affirmed that he was, because certain things about his character had changed. He started forgiving things, and it was pretty well known throughout the community. We support him, and we take great efforts to include him in everything we do.
And were you and Tess closest friends at one point?
I would say friends, but she was attendant to the church, so that was our relationship as far as that goes. She and I never had, I would say, a strong relationship. We attended the same church. I being the priest, doing the priestly thing, and she being the person sitting in the pew, doing the pewy thing.
Right.
Like I said, there's a word for it.
You said she was acting... Was she acting strange, other than drinking? around the times of
Yes,
before she
congregation. She was a member of his. Yes, thank you. I knew there was a word for it. I wouldn't know how to tell you if she was acting strange. She was tired. That was as strange as it could possibly be.
When did she stop coming to church?
Oh gosh, maybe about 3, 4. It was definitely back in September. That's when it really started. I would say September would be the time in which she stopped fully attending. She would come to some of the meets, but she wouldn't come to all of them. And definitely not on Sunday. She will be sorely missed tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, because Sunday. Sorry.
He smiles.
Long
Yes.
week. I have to... Okay, hold on. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay. September of what year, may I ask?
Oh, last year.
Do you remember? Last year.
Yes, just past September. It's only been a few months.
Okay. Remind me, Tess died this year?
Yes, Tess died in February. Bender died in January, Tess died in February, and Reed died in March.
Okay. Because I was thinking he got his dates wrong or something, because she died, or she was found in February 19th, and I was like, if that was this year, his dates are way off.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay.
But okay. And when did she start looking through her house? Did I get like a date on that when I was talking to her daughter?
No.
I swear I did. That is not the information I need. My notes are all over the place, and you'd think I would do better.
There's some commotion outside of his room, and he will get up, walk over, because you guys are talking about sensitive stuff. The kids, those 2 kids, Kenny and Tanya, go dashing through the halls at this point in time, making a bit of ruckus. And he smiles. He looks back down the hall and calls for Leanne, and he can hear Leanne. He apologizes. Leanne might be on the phone. If you can walk with me, I just want to make sure they don't get into anything they're not supposed to.
Of course, that's fine. And Elliot will stand up.
Okay.
Push in his chair. Now, I know that you said that you didn't want to indulge in this, but what was her last confession about? Even if it's just one topic.
I'm going to be honest, I can't remember her last confession in detail, but it entailed talking about the hardships of that her son and daughter-in-law were going through. Apparently at that time, there was some miscommunication between the 2 young ones that created a rift between them, and the young man ended up living on their couch for a few weeks before you can understand. You guys make a perception check to kind of, you want to judge this man's intent. You want to make a perception check to kind of be looking around, because now you're moving through the building. You've been sitting in his office. You were looking at the stuff in front of him. I never made you do a perception check. I need you to do one now.
That's fine. My perception's my awareness, isn't it?
Yes.
This brass die is giving me not good rolls. Same thing with my lucky die. Great. 7 out of 11.
Oh, wow. That's really good. So the
it
paperwork
could
on
be
his
better.
desk mostly relates to some sort of social functions coming up here in the summer relating to food and cooking out. As he got up and moved around the room, you were able to take eyes and start looking. You see like an account book off to one side. That's where the account information should be instead of jammed into a drawer. You started weighing out his shoes and looking around. You notice that there is the inside of the small closet, there is a gun case in here. So he has a gun in the church. Yeah. Check that one out. There's also a pair of hunting boots in there. So, like, this is you making eye contact and stuff. I mean, you are in a little bit more of a rural place. This is not...
Yeah, but still, this is near the church.
It is near the church, but it's a gun closet. It's a locked gun closet. I mean, at least he's a responsible gun owner. Maybe there's probably nothing in there. But there's boots in there. And, like, there's mud on the boots. So it definitely shows that the man goes out about in the wilderness. He's a killer. All right. So you chase after the two children with the priest. Ace had caught my statement of dashing through the halls.
You're funny.
When you guys catch up to them, they've made their way into the Sunday church, the preschool room, and they are gathering art supplies and attacking sheets of paper at this point in time, drawing pictures and whatnot. And he gets to the door, sees what they're doing, turns to you and says, I wish I could tell you more about that confessional, but I believe that's about all I can remember, was that her son and her daughter-in-law were having some problems. And then after that, I remember that was, I believe, the last confessional. She then didn't have another one for a little while, and then, of course, there was her lack of attendance.
Did she perchance go to the other church across the street with Thomas Reed?
Maybe, but if so, she didn't talk about it, neither did Tommy. I mean, I would imagine Tommy would say something to me, but he never did if that did happen. The kids are having a grand time. An intercom kicks up. I let them go down to the drawer. Just letting you know I know where they're at. He pushes the button, steps forward and pushes the button. Okay, I didn't know if I was going to keep an eye on them. Out of the corner of your eye, from across the room, on one of the walls, a slight piece of paper catches your attention. A drawing. A drawing of a very pink girl.
Shit.
Like magenta pink.
Huh.
And it's not like it's like a kid's drawing.
Yeah.
But it's blonde hair, white dress, pink girl. And standing in the doorway, he's talking, he's standing right here. You already have like a feeling of creep from this guy anyways, but then across the room you see a cartoon childlike version of that vampire.
The thing is,
whatever
too,
it is.
Kids are kids. There's things that they lie about, and then there's things that they're brutally honest about. Brutally. Elliot's gonna kind of wander that way.
Okay.
If the father doesn't stop him, he'll start looking through the papers and start taking in that drawing. Is it on the back of it? Does it have a child's name?
Yes.
Please be one of the kids in the room. That would be such a good coincidence.
That solves everything.
Not really, but like, I can at least ask her questions.
Un momento. Yes. The name on it is Natalie.
Okay, hold on.
As you pull it off and you're looking at it, there's another one by the same artist. It's this little pink girl in a white dress with blonde hair playing with a non-pink girl in a brown dress with brown hair.
Oh, that's like cliche horror. That's my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But at this point in time, you're looking at 5 crayon drawings.
They're all by Natalie.
All by Natalie. No one else on the wall has this bubblegum pink colored girl in their picture.
Girl. white dress. And blonde. It's always the blondes. Elliot's gonna take a photo of this as stealthy as he can. He'll put his phone on silent and just...
Okay. Roll. I mean, if you're trying to be... Dun 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 dun
Well,
dun.
I mean...
Child art creeper.
yeah. Like, you take pictures of that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he'll, while other Jones, is on, the intercoms and stuff, Elliot's going to be a nice guy and wander over to the kids and start drawing with them and keeping them in a...
Sure.
So they're not doing anything bad.
Sure.
And he'll make a comment, and he'll just be like, "You guys draw so good," and he'll point at the wall and stuff.
And the boy just stares at you like you're the stupidest looking thing in the world, with like this very slack look in his face and his mouth hanging open. The little girl on the other hand says, "Thank you," and she like, "I can draw your picture."
Yeah, I would love that.
All right, she grabs a whole brand new sheet of paper, reaches toward the markers, and you see she grabs a magenta crayon, picks it up, and then sets it off to one side, and then digs in more into the crayons. Pulls out one.
I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one.
And then she puts that magenta crayon back, like, nope. Like, not using that one.
Great.
That's too pink.
So Elliot takes like a piece of paper and he'll start drawing. He's terrible, but
Okay. Who is your daddy and what does he do? I have come looking for drug dealers. Are there any drug dealers in the room?
Right. So, do you guys normally come to this school?
The girl will say, yes, we're normally here on Sundays, but I needed to be here today because my mommy had to go do some errands, and so I was being babysitted by Miss Flynn. And then the boy turns to you with his slack jaw look, goes, "That's my mommy.
Oh,
I come here every day with her."
That poor kid. He's probably bored out of his fucking mind.
He's going to be one of the kids that start drinking in high school.
Yeah. We're so mean.
Yes, I'm playing her very, very like sociable.
So, who's your friends in class?
They start naming stuff off. The father comes over it and he says, "I'm going to go help Leanne. If you don't mind, I'll be back shortly and we can finish our conversation."
Of course, take your time.
And he will step out. You guys be nice to Agent Jones. And then he leaves. The boy looks at you and goes, "Why is your first name Agent?"
It's actually a title, like a doctor or Mrs.
You're a doctor?
No, my title is Agent.
The girl has the deadpan look over at him like, "That's awesome."
How dumb
You're like,
you be?
So you're like a police agent.
I am. Just a little higher up on the career ladder. Job ladder.
She'll smile, and she continues to look at you and then draw. Of course, you have one large eye and one small eye, kind of giving some level of Picasso-style depth perception. As she continues to, and you have very pretty hair.
Oh, thank you. And he'll mess it up. Does she, when she mentions all her friends, does she mention Natalie?
Yes. And she will even do something crazy. She'll reach into the crayon box, touch the pink marker, the pink crayon, and say, "And Natalie, she likes to draw too." only with this one. This is Natalie's.
Oh. May I see it?
And she'll hand you the pink crayon. She gets upset if anybody else uses it.
Natalie likes to draw a lot, I see.
She'll nod. The boy has successfully completed his 200th circle of black crayon on the paper.
Do you know her friend that she draws? She seems to draw her a lot.
Yeah, Natalie says she has her best friend that lives at her house with her. But I don't think she has a real friend. I think it's an imaginary friend. I know a lot of kids who need imaginary friends. I don't.
Oh, you're very advanced.
That's what my mom says. My mom has over 350 friends.
That's... You know the number. That's quite a lot.
Yes. Her thing on her phone says how many friends she has.
Right. I thought of something stupid.
You just ask it. I mean, I'm sorry, I just got NASCAR 200 black. No. I mean, that's what he's doing. In his head, that's what he's doing. No.
Yeah. I've done that. I've not done circles. I've done, like, maps. Do you know Natalie's mama?
Miss Walden? Oh, she's so sweet. She's very nice. She... Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hang on, I have this written down.
Meow. Oh, I smeared all of my notes because I'm writing in pen. Yeah, that's right. I'm writing in pen. I'm a daredevil.
You're dangerous. You write your character sheets in pen?
I actually do.
Living on the edge.
Thank you. The numbers are all in pencil, but... yeah. Most of it's in pen.
Oh my gosh.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Look at what? I can't see
Oh.
anything. I have a curtain behind me. I thought you were talking to me.
No.
No. I'm sassing, you said.
Okay.
Learn how to spell, Carl. Jeez.
Okay, back in game. Focusing. Miss
Yeah,
Walden,
sorry.
she's so nice. She comes to Sunday and she brings lots of treats all the time. She takes care of the kids. Anytime they need a chaperone, she's always there to help. I love Miss Walden.
Does Natalie talk a lot about her imaginary friend?
The girl rolls her eyes in utter
Puts
like
down notes
disdain.
constantly. Does she have a lot of friends here then?
She looks over to Kent and says, Kent's her friend. Kent stops his NASCAR-esque driving style. You can almost hear the tires screeching and the rubber flying. I'm not a friend. And he goes back to circling again.
Kids. So I'm taking it you're not friends with her.
Oh, I will spend time with Natalie when we're on the playground. If I feel like it. But most of the time I don't. I have my other friends I play with.
This bitch. That's out of character.
This child is like 6 and she's making up a world of her own that she's living in because she's watched too much TV and her parents live on Facebook too much. So in her world, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you're not far off.
Yeah.
I have my own friends.
That's pretty much she's friends with Kit. Like
And he's all like,
bitch.
deny! You interrupted my course. I will turn this black crayon flat. I have succeeded. Moving on to a new color. You know.
Oh man.
At least he's not eating it, right?
Yeah, I mean Elliot would stop him, but yeah. Miss Walden's friendly. Is it only Miss Walden? She doesn't have a dad?
Oh, Mr. Walden's around town every once in a while. He drives big old trucks.
Oh. Do you know their job?
He drives trucks and she brings cakes on Sunday. That's her job.
Great. Knew that was a stretch.
I'm working hard here to pretend to be a 6-year-old girl, okay?
Child. Yeah, I know.
Give me
it's
some
hard.
credit here. I've got much to work on.
You're doing very well.
Thank you.
She's very advanced. She's going to be very smart and a bitch in high school. That's all. Have you met her imaginary friend?
No. She says her imaginary friend hangs out around her house. Doesn't come out all the time and only spends some times with her. Not all the times. It's silly.
What else does she do in class?
She shrugs. I don't have... Okay, this one's going to be a far stretch, but bear with me. The Jersey girl's going to come out for a moment. She goes, I don't have time to pay attention to Natalie that much.
You must be very busy.
I am.
As she's drawing her
pictures. Look at me. And she shows you the picture that she's completed. She's got eyes, nose, ears, face, all in the right order, not the right proportions, almost character-esque style. If you were to have a street artist draw this, you would actually pay money for something like this because it looks color-wise. I mean, she might be colorblind or something because her color choice is pretty far off. But other than that, she succeeded in drawing you like a cartoon character.
So it's actually decent.
It's decent. We're talking on a scale of 1 to 10. This is a 5.
Kid decent.
This is a 5. Decent. Yeah. This is take home, we'll put on the wall and be like, that crazy 6-year-old from the church drew this. She's the actual psychopath. Look at the skill. That's unnatural. Next, she's going to be reading quantum books and casting spells.
I'm just happy you called her a psychopath, because I could pull up all my old artwork that I did in preschool, and you'd call me a psychopath.
I'm not trying to judge. I'm not judging.
He'll just go, wow, this is so good. He'll fold it up and put it in his back pocket.
Awesome.
She will now in my inventory.
Thank you for spoiling the mystery. Yeah. By night, she turns into bubblegum child. A
blonde-haired pink girl. I think I'm done with these kids.
Yeah. All right. Well,
there's nothing else that I can do.
Nope. So what do you want to do now? The father will return. Do you have any more questions for him?
I do. I would like to see the rest of the church, because this goes pretty deep, I'm guessing.
It does. It's got a kitchen, dining room. It's got a crafts place to do crafts. It's got storage. It's got a laundromat to do laundry in. It's got a couple of beds for people to stay in. Like they open the doors sometimes to people who are in need, families who are misplaced, or women who have been abused, or children who have been abused. They open these rooms up. He has his own private rooms down here where he can take a nap, or he can let somebody else use his room. And so it's like a small commune under the church of things. And it has 2 street accesses. Okay.
Elliot's going to make a joke about, oh, you don't have a sacrificial basement? And he goes, sorry, I'm not religious. Afterwards.
Rude.
He made it as a joking point.
Okay, all right. Well,
he's not gonna
doesn't change its rude.
I think that's all the questions I have. The last question I have is if you knew any of the past victims.
He will tell you. I knew Andrew Bender.
Oh, you knew him.
Yes, he worked at Centrillo, which is a really nice restaurant, and I've been there quite a number of times, and so I had a chance to meet and speak with him. As he was my server.
Oh, okay. So he didn't like come to your church or anything?
No, I knew of him though. I mean, small community, it's kind of hard for people not to know each other.
What did you think of him?
He kind of stopped. Well, I mean, he seemed like an okay kid. And then he stops, and I'm still going off that earlier perception because it was by 4. You can see he's about to say something, but he doesn't. He goes, I didn't have much of an impression on him.
Father Jones, it's necessary if you knew anything.
It's unrelated, but he was gay. And I don't condone those activities. I had a conversation with him of it. I don't think this is really anything related to it. But if you must know, I did chastise him about it.
Out of character. Fuck this guy.
This is the character. This is an antagonist that I put into the story. You can hate him or you can love him.
Oh, I hate him. I don't hate him. He has his own opinions. His opinions are wrong, but he has his own opinions.
There you go.
I think that's all the questions I have for him, sadly, because I can't come up with anything.
I can't. I don't know what you'd be looking for, because, I mean, as far as my notes go, I might be digging with a shovel here in a minute.
Pretty much, that's what I'm at. I'm, like, trying to think of timelines and shit, and it's not, like, really working. The other thing that I would like to do is when he shows me the kitchen, doesn't look like it's been used with blood. Like, not
I mean, there's plenty of counter surfaces. I mean, you could theoretically put a body up there and do some work, but it's like standard kitchen equipment all over the place, and there's no drain into the floor. So, like, if there was blood all over the floor, you're gonna have to mop it up and then dump it. And I mean, more professional, there would be a drain plug of some type.
Yeah, unless they're all in on it. I think the last thing is as somewhat small talk, as Elliot's just gonna mention, like, I see that you go hunting. Saw your cabinet in the office.
Oh, not my cabinet. Yes, I do go hunting. I'm a member of so many of the clubs around here. I go out before their annual or bi-monthly, and I do a quick prayer for them if they're so inclined. And then every once in a while I get invited out. Is there a gun in the cabinet? No. But there is a gun cabinet in case somebody does come around with a gun for whatever reason. I can then store it in there. And he kind of gives a shrug. You're very inquisitive. I thought this was just about the door.
I like to ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
Curiosity. I hope that's not a problem.
No. I'm just starting to get the feeling that I'm being asked a lot of questions.
Well, the last one was more of my personal curiosity. I'm a marksman myself. Do you hunt around here?
Yeah, plenty of people hunt around here.
Other than deer, what can you get around here?
Mostly deer, foxes, a couple of other smaller games.
That must be nice. You could catch your own and clean it up and...
Oh, not me.
Serve it on here.
No, not me. I would never... I don't mind eating God's creations, but I would not be able to clean it. He gives a laugh. That would not be within my abilities to handle.
I wish I could roll judge intentions, but apparently I can't. So, but I have to just take that as is. Well, I'm sorry I took up your time, but thank you.
No, it's fine. I'm sure that something I've said will help lead to some better information or to help the victims out.
Indeed.
Do you hunt? Or are you just a marksman?
Just a marksman.
Well, if you did hunt, then I was going to tell you that there was quite a number of hunting clubs in the area, and if you were looking for an evening out, definitely reach out to them and see what they could, if they could help you.
Oh, well, thank you. I hunted when I was in college and high school, but since I got an actual job that takes up most of my time, I'm a marksman.
He'll give a nod. Well, that's good, and thank you so much. I'm going to get these kids taken care of. I'm going to be closing up and going to lunch here. If you have any other questions, please feel free to come by or call. Tomorrow is service, so I won't be finished until about 3.
Well, thank you for taking your time now. If I have any other further questions, I will call, and I'll show up. Have a nice day.
All right. What do you want to do now?
Oh, before I go, do you have any of your... Do you have any of your people who come to service? Do you have any of their phone numbers or anything of that nature?
I do. I do have contact information for them. As part of it, that way we can reach out to them, or we've collected.
Of course.
On what?
And their families when they. I'm guessing you have it for emergency purposes, especially if they have kids and.
Yes, especially when we want to reach out to them, let them know there's something going on. That's not for. We don't generally have too many emergency situations where we need to reach out to any of our congregation.
No, let's hope not. Actually, I'm looking for a Miss Walden.
Miss Walden. Oh! Man, I use that name too many times. Let's get a different female name because I have a Tanya, which is the child, and so I need another. And I have a Tanya Walden, and I don't want to use another Tanya. So I'm going to get you guys. Alice it is. Thank you, Acid. Alice. So I'm fixing that right now. Apparently I'm not. My pencil's gone. There it is. Alice Walden. Somewhere in my brain, Alice Walden sounds like a...
It does sound very familiar.
Man, it's going to turn out to be a victim of some serial killer. What a good thing.
She did it. She did it. She's the villain.
Exactly.
That's what I do every single time I watch like a horror movie or a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the first person's on screen, I'm like, they did it. They're the murderer.
How does that work out for you?
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I'm horribly wrong.
Sometimes I'm horribly wrong.
Most of the time, I'm horribly wrong.
Well, thank goodness we're not relying upon you to solve mysteries.
Pages on the case, everybody. I got this. I'm totally not gonna fail. I feel good. I feel good about the case so far. I'm just worried that I'm gonna run into a dead end and I'm gonna have to wait until a murder happens again.
Oh yeah, that would suck. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
That to happen. Yeah. But I feel like I'm doing alright. Columbio? I've never heard of that.
Where?
Is it like where everyone's the murderer? Like one of those murder express trains or dinner parties where it's like not only did Miss Phillips' murder, Frank, but also Joe, the butler.
Murdered Frank.
Yeah,
That was
with Miss Phillips.
That was like a et tu brute moment where everybody's stabbing Caesar.
Yeah, and they all gasp. They're like, and they all look at her. Oh. A murder investigation show. The first guy on screen is like always the murderer. That's my kind of show. Oh, I love the grandfather from Princess Bride. My mom knows that actor's name, and I can't think of his name. But every single time, because she watches old movies on like TV, and every single time she sees him, she goes, "Do you know who that is?" And I go, "Yeah, Peter Falk." I was like, "Yeah, I recognize his face."
Your face, it's familiar to me. I'm trying to decide if it's a face I want to punch or hug.
Yep, exactly. That's pretty much my brain. If anyone knows me, they know that I'm a very violent person in text form.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if he has the number of Miss Walden.
Yep, he totally does.
I would like it, please.
He will totally give it to you. But
Sweet.
He will tell you that you won't be able to get in touch with her.
Why not?
Because their family is out of town this weekend. I already
Damn
know.
it!
They are they are out of town for a family event. And they won't be back in until the middle of the week, which is Wednesday. For the game
Next
purpose,
week?
that translates into April 10th.
So close to the fucking moon. Hold on. Gotta write new notes. Alice is on vacay.
They're a very nice family. They live out in Siglerville. I'm going to slide my face over to here. So it's like I'm part of the darkness in this. There we go. And then I'm going to move Paige down to here. So now she's part of the desk. Actually, we're just going to leave Paige up in the corner.
I don't know where I'm moving. Over here, I'll flap my arms.
Yeah, okay, now you're flying across the screen,
You can tell it's getting late when we're not paying attention to a murder. Elliot will thank him again, and he'll leave, and just silently go, "Fuck me," and he'll send the picture and the information he got of like Natalie. Apparently, Natalie draws this. He'll send it all to Garrett, for right now.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna go hiking, I guess, because I want to follow that trail. That, and before I actually end up doing that, I wanted to go to the police station. I'm hoping that they were good cops. I'm really hoping.
Okay, which police station are we going to? There's quite a number of them in the area.
The one that's closest by.
Okay, Lewiston Police Department, right?
Yep.
Okay. What about them?
If they were good cops, they would have taken photos of the damaged door. It's not the physical door, and I doubt that the repairman would actually have the physical door. If they were good cops and did their job, they would have had taken photos of that door.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they are. So, once in there, Elliot will flash his badge. I'm sure that he knows.
They remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will get you all the photos and everything. They've already given all this information to you guys once before. They'll happily open back up, bring all the files and information out, and have you get a walkthrough so you get an idea what's going on.
Do they have photos of the door?
Yeah, they do. The older gentleman, Jason, who is the very assertive kind of cop in his 70s, is just like, I know Tyler might still have that door laying around his place. If you, Yeah, of course. He doesn't throw away anything. That door's a pretty nice door. The glass is still usable. He's a recycling man. You definitely reach out to him and be able to do it. He might be able to help you put your hands onto it.
That would be best. I just assumed that he would get rid of it.
He gives a nod. Understandable. While you're there, you'll also notice Alfred, Mr. Officer Long. That was the one that wasn't very responsive when you were first there or the last time you came through, and nothing seems to have changed in the last few days. He's just sitting at his desk, like slowly typing, like he's lethargic. But his eyes are like shifting and he's looking around because he's the guy who found 2 of the bodies. When you come in and begin asking questions, he stops what he's doing and pays attention to what's going on. Almost as if he's there, but he's not. He's like spaced out.
Okay.
All right. So when you get over, Tyler does have the door. In fact, he saved it because he said that was one of the most unique things he's ever seen. So he didn't feel like throwing it away.
Oh, nice.
So
that sounds like a good kid.
He'll pull out the door, and it is a solid wood door. The glass popped out when it got hit, and he shows you, he starts explaining to it how it happened, why it happened, and this man's done construction work enough. He tells you that whatever hit this door probably weighs about 8 to 1,000 pounds because that's the kind of pressure it would take to make this dent. And he's kind of like rounding it out, talking about the whole thing. Like, this is like, man, check it out. I've got this like in-depth understanding of shit because I've repaired so much stuff. He talks about what happens when a car hits a building, when a car hits a door and stuff. And these are solid wood doors. And he said whatever hit that thing was big and it was round and it was like a cylinder.
Round cylinder. So definitely not a vehicle.
Exactly.
Any notes on the door? This is still...
And he points out something very, very interesting. Whatever this big, round, heavy thing is, it has nodules all the way around it in certain places. Like studs of some type. Because he points out divots on the inside. It was a perfect solid blow.
It's not a UFO, it's a vampire. We're off UFOs. Though that vehicle was strange. Huh. But that's a different topic for a different day. Right now I'm focused on the door.
So he'll definitely let you see the door.
Wait! It was... Rado, you might be onto something. Wait, because you were saying... It has divots?
Yeah, it's some sort of cylindrical thing, hit it. Like, and he'll say, those things out in front of Walmart?
No. What things?
That keep the cars from going inside?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just imagine something that big, but it's got studs on it. Yeah, bollards. I didn't want to use that word. He wouldn't know that word.
I don't know that word.
They're called bollards.
Great, good for that.
Gotta
I don't
roleplay
pay
the
attention
character.
to little things like that. April 6th. Okay, so the door was not hit by a car. It was impacted by something round.
And he points out, like, when the door was hit, how it caved in, how it ripped off, and, he describes it being top-heavy. This guy has a lot more, like, collision experience and house damage repair as he begins describing. He's just like, yeah, it had to be top-heavy, hit it really hard, ripped off the top one, take out the second one. Had to weigh, like, 800 pounds. I generally try to avoid OCC, and I try to impersonate the individual when I'm role-playing so that there's a distinctive change between me and then when I'm talking about my characters.
Elliot's gonna take a closer look at the door. From the The thing is, it's wood too.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. I doubt that paint would come off. But is there any paint or any flakes of what was there? Like what hit it? Because you know when you graze a car, you get the paint. So
Might
whatever
be.
hit it, that's why I wanted to look closer.
You don't have your character does not have the ability to microscopically examine this door. Like I said, he's saved.
Put my face on the door.
Well, okay, yeah, no, there's nothing that you can physically see that says, hey, there's something on this door still.
Then I guess I'll contact one of the people that I work with that can do that, and I'll tell them to get their asses up here and investigate the wood on the door. That
Sure.
Or if Tyler is so nice enough to cut that part of that door out.
Shoo, you can have the whole door, knowing that the FBI took my door for investigations. That'll be something to talk about. Y'all figured out who's doing all the killing yet?
Still working on it.
That's a damn shame. It's coming to full moon soon, we all know. We've been watching, we've been waiting. Going to see who's going to die next. Oh, man.
It's not a game show.
Well, we do have bets running.
Elliot pulls out his phone and he goes, uh-huh. And he goes, excuse me. And he steps away.
I need to step out of this conversation now.
Now. And he calls up, I guess, Guantanamo, someone who can get a team together to grab the door and look at it closely.
You're a field agent in charge, so you would actually reach out to the investigation teams and tell
yeah,
them.
They're there.
That's right, they're in town. There are two investigation
actually
teams in town, which are composed of 6 people each.
Yeah, so I'll call up the nearest one and be like, hey, you got to get this door and check it because I can't do it with the human eye. And I guess with that, I mean, it's a door that I can't really look into. Even when Guantanamo
You named her. That's the hard part.
Even when Snow White was talking about like, oh, you need to check out that door. I was even thinking like, bitch, I can't. Okay, yeah. I guess after that, he'll thank Tyler and he'll tell him that his team is going to be picking up the door soon, or they'll do the investigation here.
I will avoid doing any kind of rootin' tootin' shouting as he's excited about the FBI taking his door.
And he'll I guess he'll get lunch because I'm sure it's lunchtime somewhere. And after that he'll go hiking into that path that he saw near where he thinks Father Reed was dragged.
Okay.
But I do want to mention the reason I was like, you might be onto something is it's not because it's the shape or the whatever of that nature. The tires were studded. I don't know how a tire would do that, but the tires were studded.
Yeah, the tires on that big ass weird flashy truck that the guy talked about seeing were studded in a weird way, and you have pattern markings from beside the water that match it.
Yep. So I don't have those pattern markings on hand, but we can do a side by side, and I'll even tell the team that the
and that's what they're doing. That's what the investigators are doing. Yeah.
Great. But other than that, he'll go hiking.
All right. You hit the ground running outside of Reedsville, and you mosey on following the direct line. You cross over a small road. You get over the top of that hill. There's another small road on the other side. And as you get up there, you have the option of going either left or right. Right takes you back down to what maybe would be more Main Street area, back into Reedsville. Left seems to take you maybe farther out. Straight takes you off into the woods. There might be homes in front of you. I mean, you could walk into somebody's property at this point in time because it looks pretty gosh darn rural. As you take a moment, make a perception check.
Of course. Ooh. Okay, hold on. One of my dice fell and then I bumped the other one with my hand. That was a 3. Oh yeah! 7 out of 11. 3, 3, and 1, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's a 7 out of 11. You hit it really good again this time. As you're standing on this street at this angle at this moment in time, this street, you pull up your phone, you're looking at information. This road that you're standing on takes you from Reedsville all the way over to Garden View. And Garden View Street, this is the street, this street that you're standing that goes, if you go to the left and you stay on it for however long distance based upon you're walking, driving, or whatever, you'll end up, sorry, not in Garden View, but Nagney. And Nagney's where the quarry is at.
Oh, shit.
There is a tree line that goes along one side of the road, and the other side of the road has no tree line. For the majority. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it right now. It has trees on either side the whole fucking way.
Was he found at the quarry?
He was found in the quarry's water itself at Nagney.
Yeah. So if I continue north...
If you take a left and stay on that road, you're going to end up at the quarry.
I doubt that the killing took place to the left. I'm gonna go straight into the woods.
So you're going straight across. Okay.
Yeah, are there any markings? Hopefully something that's there that hasn't been washed away by weather. Something on the trees maybe, or anything of that nature.
All right.
Hey, Thea.
Walking across the street, heading into the tree line. You probably go 100, 200 yards. You find old, maybe it's a chicken coop or something, and then you find an old broken down car as you're wandering. These trees, this is a new growth in comparison to when people first showed up here. So you're finding remnants of people as you're moving through looking for something worthwhile. And a lot of the area, there's plenty of spaces between the trees. So there's like young growth trees, and then some area between and some dead trees and stuff like that. And so you're moving, you're creeping, and you find like this ditch or this run that cuts hard left, still toward the direction of Nagney. And it's a ditch. It's a dip in the area, like the ground sunk in a little bit, and as you're staring at this, trying to figure out what you're looking at, because it looks like something maybe large was here.
Okay.
You hear behind you.
No. Oh, we're gonna end it tonight, aren't we? Because that's a good cliffhanger, but I do want to.
And you hear.
Look behind me. Oh God.
Put your hands up.
Yep, up.
As you begin slowly turning around, you see a man in camouflage, pants and a jacket. He's got a hand on. He's got a rifle, but he's not pointed it at you. And his finger's down beside the length of the rifle.
Yeah.
And it's a pump action rifle at this point in time. So he's got you at the advantage. He could just swing and pop.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "You're trespassing. I'm going to need you to stay right there. I'm going to be calling the police."
Okay. I mean, Elliot's just gonna get kind of going, "I understand. I apologize. Didn't know. I am an FBI agent. I know that sounds absurd. I do have
he
my
leans
badge
back.
on me.
You one of them FBI agents that's been poking around about all them murders, aren't you?
I am investigating. Yes,
You got a badge?
I do. May I get it?"
He'll lower his gun and cross it under his arm in a respectful way of taking care of a firearm.
Yeah, Elliot will go into his jacket pocket, pull out his wallet, flip it open, show him his badge.
The gentleman walks over, takes a look at it. He looks up to you. "I ain't never seen one of these before. I don't know if it's real or not, but it looks fancy."
Thank you. That's all I can say, because it is real.
You're still trespassing.
I understand that. If you would like, I can get a warrant to trespass here and to search. I'm actually following a trail.
He kind of looks around. Yeah, I noticed it too. And he looks back the way you came and then looks in the direction you go, I don't know what the hell that was. But it was big. That's one of the biggest bears I've ever seen.
A bear? So you've seen it?
No, I ain't seen it. But he points at something in the trees and goes, it made that mess. You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, but he's just pointing at like a collection of trees leading up to that ditch and then making it offshoot off into a direction a little bit more toward left, toward Nagny. Whatever it was, it got to about there, broke a bunch of crap, started heading that way.
Did it make a sound or anything?
I'm imagining it did. I wasn't here to see nor hear it.
May I look around? You can watch me if you need.
You're about to walk into my my traps up ahead, so I'm going to come with you. I laid them out after whatever it is came crashing through this part. I intend to capture it, just like everybody else is. If that bear messes up, it's going to be my trophy. It's not a grizzly. It's bigger than a grizzly. I mean, it can't be a mountain cat either, as wide as it is. Look at all this, and he makes a gesture to trees. Dead trees, and you have no idea what he's making a gesture to. But in his eyes, he sees a trail floating there in midair amongst the trees. He walks over and he points down the way. Then it went that way. Then he got out into the clearings.
You're just now fuzzy forever.
I know, right? It's like, I'm still right here. This is me, right there. Stop it.
Yeah, Elliot's gonna... Elliot's, just gonna listen, follow.
Yeah. Guy walks you down.
He's looking around, but, I mean, yeah, if he doesn't know any better, he's gonna follow him. He knows what he's talking about.
He points out the traps. You don't see them. But he points them out and makes them evident to you, and then you're very aware that you're walking through a very decent collection of rusty bear traps that would lead you into the hospital with multiple tetanus shots, and dear God, that looks painful.
I was actually, when I was walking, I was like, something's gonna happen in here, because I'm in the middle of the woods. Watch, I'll step on a fucking bear trap. That's like my number one fear.
So he walks you down the trails and starts talking about this bear.
Yes.
And that a couple of things that are important in the conversation. There's a bear. It's a big bear. Nobody's seen it yet. Everybody has heard about it and has been talking about the bear that's been wandering around in the woods in the area.
We're in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. There are no bears in
I
Pennsylvania.
was gonna say, Elliot's even gonna point out, like, there are no bears in Pennsylvania. Like,
from Penn Roosevelt State, Bald Eagle, all the way down here to Reed. People been seeing stuff, been hearing things. It's out moving around. It's got a lot of ground to cover, too.
if this was a bear, which it could be, how do bears normally work? I mean, they have a den, right? So they're gonna have to drag their food back to their den, or...
He just shakes his head looking at you like you're crazy.
I don't... He basically just shrugs and goes, I work in a business office, alright? I mean, hardly out in the field with bears. We work with a different kind of bear, and that's called man.
Bears don't have dens. Not unless they're camping up for the winter. And it ain't winter, it's April. And this one's woke up, and it's hungry. And we don't know how it got down this far. Or this far over. And it's a biggin'.
But it's been... I guess I'm thinking of, like, 3-hour stretches, because of raids. They're only, like, 15 minutes away. But it's been moving, though.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it stay in one spot for hunting?
Yeah, you'd figure. But if it was a large cat, on the other hand, large cats move around. They look for territories that they can easily clean and take care of. And we've been noticing some wildlife disappearing. Things that are one place and they're not others. So he tells you that if you're interested, this coming
Don't say the 19th, please.
Tuesday is going to be a meeting at the Reading Elk Lodge. Everybody's going to get together and they're going to talk about this bear. And everybody's going to be honest, and he kind of gives a chuckle, and talk about what they know, hopefully in the attempts to be able to figure out where it's gotten off to. He says this area is filled with caves. There could be any number of caves where it's found itself a chance to hide off in. There are hundreds of caves. They stretch all over the place. And if there is a bear using these caves, a bear this big, that's pretty impressive. It'd be the talk of the state for so long.
Well, I definitely want to be on this meeting. Is there a cave nearby?
Oh yeah, there's caves all over the place.
Well, just one that's close.
Sure.
Say near the quarry.
Near the quarry? There's 2 caves actually in the quarry. And he says there's about 20 yards up this way, and he makes a gesture off to the right-hand side and says, there's a cave right over there. It's kind of small. We can't get into it, but rodents do get up in there, and squirrels and stuff.
Or bats?
No, those are much larger caves. You might find those more over toward the hilly area. I mean, he makes a gesture to the rise nearby and says, maybe up in there. I've walked this territory quite a bit, but I ain't never seen a cave big enough for bats. Back over on the other side near Milroy, though, yeah, there are some. There's some out near Siglerville as well. Also out near the Gaps. Now, you're from the city, so you probably don't know what a gap is.
I could assume, but I don't want to be wrong.
It's part between mountains. Kind of like a valley, but not a valley. It's higher up in the mountains. Anyways, there's always at least 1 or 2 gaps that have caves up in it. They're all over the place. The gentleman thanks you for, the gentleman's pretty kind at this point. Like, I'm done. I gotta go home. Thanks for trespassing. Glad I could show you the bear that I'm going to catch and kill.
Good luck with that. I'll see you at the meeting.
Okay.
He'll follow him back, because obviously.
Obviously.
And after that, I guess he'll get out of the brush. He's in, fucking slacks, man. So, better jeans. But, I guess, fuck it. I'm done here.
It's okay.
Cassie, are you right?
Yeah, she's fine. She's just knocking stuff over. You okay, babe?
Yep.
She's good.
Okay. Whenever my sister gets into, she's clumsy and hits her hip on things and drops stuff, whatever she does, she screams, fake screams, and then goes, I've been shot! So, whenever that happens, I go, she's fine. Well, fuckity do. I have nothing to do. I just rhymed do with do.
Yes, talented. You did.
I'm so talented.
Garrett will reach back out to you asking questions about this picture you sent him. WTF.
Yeah, he'll message him back and say, apparently a little girl named Natalie has been making friends with a pink girl in a white dress with blonde hair. Their family's out of town. I have their number. I was gonna look into it, but they're out of town. That's all I have. The other thing is the door is being looked at by the investigator. Father Jones actually knew all of the victims. Wasn't a big fan of Andrew's sexual preferences. What else? What else is there? Other than that, I took it on myself to find that trail, which led into some guy's private property, which he's hunting on. And apparently, he's hunting a bear of some sort. Something big enough that actually caused damage in the woods. There's a lot of caves over there, which could... I mean, he claims that they're not big enough for a bat or a rat, so I doubt a child would fit into it. But children are creative. So I couldn't find the murder location. And then at the end of that, all that huge, book of a text, he just sends back, and my shoes are ruined because I wore the wrong shoes to go hiking.
You get an LOL back from that.
Other than that is stuff that isn't that important. The door looks like it was bent in by something circular and studded, which I compared to the truck, which I'm hoping the team will compare to it.
He responds back, do you think the truck and the girl are related?
Possibly.
So you think that the girl drives the truck?
No, I think that there's two people. That, or...
So maybe it's the time, but do you remember what the father does? What Natalie's father does?
Oh my god, he's a trucker! Oh my god! I didn't write that down, and that didn't even occur to me. I mean, Elliot's gonna say that. The Walden family, the husband has a truck. Apparently drives a really big one. I didn't get a description of it, though. I actually wasn't thinking of that.
Garrett says, if he drives a truck, maybe he has a truck with studded tires, ?
We'll have to look into it Wednesday. They're on vacation until then. That's on my hand. All my notes.
I've got a hotline right now. I don't need to wait till Wednesday to get a warrant.
Well, I have their number, but apparently I'm not going to be able to reach them. I don't even know where they're vacationing. And
I don't think they would... If they have a flashy truck that has studded tires that kick indoors, ? I don't think they took that with them on vacation.
They could... I mean, I can drive past the house, and Elliot will get into his car and head towards
Siglerville, yeah.
Siglerville.
So Garrett comes back with you with only one possible listed address for Alice Walden.
Yeah.
You drive out to Siglerville. You take a small side road that takes you out of the town and into like a more back area suburb. And these are really nice older style houses, very spaced out, lots of grazing fields near each house. And so it doesn't take you long before you come across a lemon yellow home that matches the address. When you pull up at the street itself and you can look down their shelled driveway, you can see that there is a semi-truck parked in the front, and you can see part of a semi-truck parked in the back. So at least two in the yard.
Okay, do they look silver?
The one in the back looks silver.
Elliot's gonna kind of like pull over to the side, act like he's lost or something. I don't know.
There is no one around. There's still the driveway to go up to the house. Like I said, these houses are spaced out by, like, if you stop, you look, you have to, it's like almost at the edge of a distance to see somebody else's house. So if somebody stopped, they'd look out and be like, somebody out on the road. So they'd have to be like binocular, you know. So there's a lot of space.
I'll drive up the driveway then if there's not a gate.
There's no gate. Hey, this is Pleasantville kind of country. These people might not even lock their doors. They probably lock their doors. Don't believe
I mean,
me.
I'm gonna be a good
I wouldn't
kid.
be unlocking people's doors. You don't know if they have an attack semi.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
All right.
But yeah, I'll head up the driveway.
Sure, not a problem. Like a nice gravel driveway. It's a really nice widespread house. Looks like it might be at least 3 or 4 bedrooms. It's got a porch stretched across the front of it. Everything's been painted like a off lemony yellow kind of color with a white roof and whitish blue roof. The semi-truck that's parked in the front is like a sparkly blue one. It's a flat nose, not like a... it's got the kind of overhead cab, flat nose on the front. The other one is a full bed, full cab.
Okay.
In the back, the one in the silver. So, what do you want to do?
I want to look at the silver one because
All
that
right,
was.
so you park, get out. There are tire swings. The whole lawn is manicured. You see the normal, like, this is a well-to-do family. They've got plenty of stuff going for them. The whole place looks really well kept and whatnot. You see that there's a shed in the back one. Yeah, so there's the repair shed, and then there's the storage shed. So there's 2 sheds, one really large shed and one smaller shed in the back. You see that there is a engine block set up on a stump. Children's swings, and the backyard as you get back there, it's all really well done. It's really well manicured. And then there's a big ass silver semi truck. It's got a decent number of lights on it, running lights and whatnot. They all seem to be in the normal orange, and the night guardsmen said that they were multicolored.
Yeah, multicolored lights.
Multicolored lights.
Because the blue truck was in the front, so I'm guessing
Yes.
that I saw that one first. Did the blue one have multicolored lights that it looked like?
No, it did not have multicolored lights. It had the standard orange colored lights for running lights. Nothing that sticks out and says, that doesn't mean you can't change the covers and everything. And there is a shed big enough for another vehicle to be put into.
Before I do any of this, actually, rewind. There are cameras on the house?
No.
Sweet, okay. Then yeah,
not a problem. I can totally take the rewind. No, there are no cameras on the house.
Thank you. Okay, because that is something that I thought of when you were starting to explain, like, I got out and I was
You're
like...
the Shadowrunner, and you came out and said, I made a mistake.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Game Master laid out free territory, and I just started walking in on it.
As a Shadowrunner, though, I don't really care. No one knows your face, especially if you wear a mask. As an FBI agent, you're not wearing a mask.
Right. No, you're right. You just got to remember to wear the mask.
Yeah, so... So yeah, I guess, if there are windows on the shed, I'll take a look. But other than that, I'll pull on my gloves, just in case.
Sure, not a problem. You walk back over the shed. It opens up just fine. And there are a lot... There is a lot of engine parts. There is a chassis of a semi-truck on blocks, no tires, and the cab's missing. You can see bits and pieces. So this guy looks like he builds and repairs or fixes semis themselves. These are his personal projects, or maybe this is part of his business or anything. But this big shed has a lot of stuff in it to fix and repair. You hear a massive audible thud behind you.
Well, I'm gonna turn around and look.
That engine block that was sitting perfectly fine on its stand is now laying on the ground.
Well, that was weird. Does it, it was firmly on there, right? Like nothing, like a wind couldn't have come by. And
We're talking about an
knocked it over.
engine block that goes into
Yeah.
our semi. That's some pretty strong wind. Most likely that would have taken out trees and you as well.
Great. So it's outside, whatever it is. Elliot's just gonna be a normal human and, ask if they're like, hello? And kind of, he'll head in that direction.
Okay.
Fuck it.
All right. You start walking over toward the engine block that fell off on its own.
Yeah.
As you get closer, the engine block is sitting on a V-shaped divot, which means wind would not even have knocked this over.
Yeah. Like it was
Either it
from
became
in there.
unbalanced or something pulled it over.
I wish I knew what this pink girl's name was. Great. Okay, Elliot's gonna kind of look around, look on top of the shed, look behind him, look around the shed a little bit. Was there anything in the shed that was like silver, multicolored lights that was even the studded tires? Because if it's all repairs...
No,
nothing?
it's all repair stuff. I'm sorry.
That's fine. He'll close up the shed then.
Okay. The property
And-
is pretty clear on both sides because of the neighbors, but at the back of the property, where the fence is, that's where the tree line starts, and it's a very thick tree line beyond that. So as you're walking back out, you can see that in the tree line there is dense foliage. Make a perception. Sorry, awareness roll.
Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. What's my awareness? 11?
Mm-hmm.
I got exactly 10.
Okay. You're just looking at that dense, thick foliage, and you're thinking about, like, things moving about in there. And you're not sure what you see, but you know what you hear. Sounds like a tree, like a fresh tree cracking and snapping. You know the sound of a tree falling? Yeah, that's what you hear coming from the thicket of trees from behind the house.
Hey. But I don't see anything.
No, a tree just fell in the woods and you heard it.
Well, that could be many things. It could be an old tree. It could be... Are these... I wouldn't know if these are hunting woods. I just don't want to walk into a bear trap, that's all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because the guy said the hunters are all looking for a bear. So that means he's
Exactly.
not the only one laying bear traps out in the woods.
Yeah. And, if I can't even see the ones he pointed out, I don't want to walk near any of them. This place is creepy. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wait until I get a warrant.
Okay.
I would head in there, but I don't want to get myself hurt. And I mean...
Because you're
that's
by
a
yourself.
That too, and it's also a rational human being thing. Even
Right.
as brave as Elliot is, which I think I even have a perk that's like nothing phases him. No. Something just fell over. A tree just fell in the woods. Nah. I'm not about that life. I'm gonna get back into my vehicle.
Okay.
If my tires aren't slashed or if my car's not
Okay.
flipped over.
Do you walk around your vehicle double checking it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, your tires aren't slashed.
But yeah, he'll hop in and I'm gonna reverse out.
Okay. Reach out to Garrett, let him know what happened.
Pretty much. He'll say I drove up. Obviously, no one's home. Just between you and me, the shed I opened, and it was in their backyard. And inside was just a bunch of repairs. Their vehicles could be... There is a silver one, but their lights were orange, not multicolored. Their tires weren't studded. I mean, that could be changed out, but who knows? Also, I don't know. The place was just weird. It gave me an uneasy feeling.
It was all open and empty and personless.
Yeah.
And you were very open to everything around you.
Yeah. I think a tree fell in the woods, and the car engine fell off of a very sturdy platform. So I'm gonna call it a day.
Alright, Garrett tells you not to stress. It's fine. He's gonna get some shit taken care of. And as soon as Watanabe is off his ass, he's gonna head out there. So just to make sure that there's two of you guys.
Great.
Because, everything's starting to bother him now about this whole situation. Yeah. You think Elliot needs to do anything else for the what is this, Saturday the 6th?
I want to say yes, because it's a valuable
time. You've got 13 days before the next murder.
I just can't think of anything. Like, I could go into this person's home.
You could.
I could.
You could drive back out there late at night, break into their home.
But I'd lose my badge if I was caught.
Yep.
And I'm not about that. I am not a Shadowrunner. Not until Elliot's next life. But I think I'm gonna have to, I guess, call it and wait until Garrett comes by. They'll get late lunch.
Maybe some more information will come up.
Yeah, I'll get more information, get dinner together, hear him rant about how much Guantanabe's being a bitch right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I think he's just gonna go over his notes, maybe take a nap.
Okay. Okay, not a problem. You get back to your hotel room, and I need you to make a composure roll because there was definitely a level of weirdness going on in that person's house.
Sure. What is my composure? What am I rolling?
Your save on your composure. It should be your composure plus 8.
I know I took composure.
Yes, I know you put points into it.
Interrogation, ranged weapons, athletics, paranormal, diplomacy, awareness, bluff, subterfuge. I'm not seeing it.
It should be like related to your combat or your evasion. No?
The only thing that I see is looking cool, which is my -2 to running, but +1 to composure.
Let me see if I can find it. Do I have I should have your character sheet somewhere, right?
I also have not so special, which is +1 to composure.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I swear I took it.
I know you put some points into it. I just try to find your character real quick.
I'm an idiot. It's right there in front of me.
Oh, 9. Good.
9 + 2. I'm a fucking idiot. Also, my composure should be a lot higher than that, I feel. 9 + 2 is 11. I can do math. 9. 9 out of 11.
9 out of 11? Okay.
Yeah, I got a 6, 2, and a 1.
Okay. Your mind's reeling over the fact that there's a great possibility that the vampire could be in that shed and you were just there. It's a great possibility that this could be something bigger than you've ever experienced before. And you're holding yourself really well together, but one of the things that is failing is your ability to stay asleep around 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll say about 1:30 a.m. It's done. You've laid in the bed watching the same ceiling popcorn bits and your stomach is growling.
Great. Great.
I mean, your composure roll is fine because if you had made your composure, it'd been like, yeah, night sweats, you can't sleep, the next day you're going to have penalties. So no penalties, but just no sleep at this point in time because you're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, pretty much that, exactly.
Because you've gotten so close to something that you as a human are identifying as something as not human.
I wouldn't even be prepared to take it on if it attacked him there and then. Because I just have a gun.
Yeah.
And that's not going to kill a vampire.
No.
You know what I'm going to do? It's 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Have I had dinner with Garrett, or am I still waiting for him?
Yeah, you're still waiting for him. This is now the 7th. This is the 7th. 1 a.m. on the 7th. You think you slept?
Yeah.
You've had those days. I know you did.
Yeah.
You tell me all the time how you have those days.
Yeah. I haven't had what Elliot's having in a long time though. I had nightmare insomnia. That's what I like to call it when I was in high school. Terrible. Very happy I just have normal insomnia and just can't sleep. But I guess he'll rub his face, run cold water over it. Text Garrett, like, when are you gonna get here?
Just gonna toss out, he's not answering at 1 o'clock in the morning.
He's not answering?
Not at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's asleep.
Oh, I thought he'd be driving all the way through. No. That's why I was like, I'll get dinner with you when you come up.
No, something else happened. Game Master's having fun with this at this point in time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Maggie. Sorry, he's got a wife. He's got a slight responsibility. He's still in town.
I mean, the only thing that I'm thinking of is, would Garrett have told him, yeah, I'm headed up there tonight, or...
No, he'd be heading up as soon as Watanabe got off his ass.
Oh, okay.
And there was freedom. So it's not tonight. Yeah, no.
I assumed. Never mind then. I'm not that worried. Fuck. Well, I'm gonna get dinner.
Sadly, looking through the menu, or looking through the venue at Lewiston, the area
closed.
that you're in, the grocery store is the only thing that's open this late at night.
Is this a good hotel? Is there, like, a coffee pot in there?
Yeah, there's a coffee pot in there.
Sweet. Elliot's gonna go to the grocery store. He's gonna get some ramen.
Ooh, some creamer for some coffee?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
He's gonna get a pack of the 4 eggs that you can get.
Uh-huh.
What else can I do that I know that I can do in a hotel?
Yeah, you can cook those eggs and ramen. You get a bag of frozen veggies.
Yep.
You pull out the bag of frozen veggies, and as you're getting your basket and everything organized, down the far side of the frozen food aisles, the dimmed lights that are off because of there's nobody around because the sensors click on. The next set clicks on. There's nobody in the aisle between you and the checkout counter, but the next set click on. And the next one.
Are they coming towards
you?
Great. Not about
There's
that.
no one in the aisle.
Not
just
about
you.
that. Elliot's going to do this and turn and run his hands through his hair and just walk out.
Just walk out with your food. It's mine.
No, well, he'll buy it. He'll walk to the do-it-yourself register.
Are you walking down the aisle where the lights are turning on towards you?
Yeah, I'm a man.
Composure roll.
Oh, that's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 1. Ah!
As you begin heading down toward the lights that are turning on, your guts begin to wrench. You knew that child turned from being invisible to visible.
Yeah.
But you hold strong. And nothing. You get through the aisle. You get to the register. You begin checking out. You find that even though you felt strong doing it, your hands are shaky.
Yeah, it's not sitting well with me. Even I'm thinking that if this is what I think it is,
A little invisible girl. A vampire with telekinesis.
It could be hunting me. And I'm not cool with that. But if it is, I also don't want to give it away that I am, how should I say, better than her other victims that she's had. Because I want to be easy prey. Just in case if it is hunting me, I'll kind of know it, and then I can trap it.
Okay.
I don't want to look like I'm bigger than I actually am.
Okay.
So
I have to give you that. You're trying to stack the deck in your favor with what few cards you have. There's nothing wrong with trying to make that 3 3s stand up against whatever the other player has. I mean, it's 3 3s. It counts for something. Let's see how well this bluff pays off for you. All right, so you check out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening, chat.
Mm-hmm. I will take that into consideration.
Okay.
All right. All right. You buy your stuff you had on the store.
No.
Whoa,
what was
what?
that behind the scenes GMing? She's a GM too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
trust her just as you. Alright?
So you buy your groceries, you're heading out to your car.
Yeah.
What? What? It's okay.
I don't trust any of you.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Your car doors are unlocked.
The fuck? I locked them when I left, right?
You don't remember at this point in time. You're thinking that you're tired.
I'm gonna go around my car. I'm gonna check
Okay.
it to see if
You're going to check the tires?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna check the tires. I'm also gonna see if, like, I don't know, some asshole broke into my car somehow.
Like they're asleep
No.
in the back seat?
Well, that or they, like, opened up the doors, took something, and left. I don't think anything in his car is worth taking other than, I don't know, his charger.
I mean, is this even your car or is this a rental?
It probably would be a rental.
It'd probably be a rental.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go around, check the tires, check everything.
Awareness.
3, 5. Oh god, I keep
Oh
dropping
my
this.
goodness.
5. So,
That's a 13.
13 out of 13.
You check the tires, the back seat, nothing's missing, and nobody's in the car.
Great. My awareness sucks.
But there could
I'm
be
gonna
an
get-
invisible vampire child in the back seat right now, right?
I'm gonna get in my car.
Okay.
I'm gonna plug in my aux cord, play some music,
Okay.
drive back to the hotel.
Okay. Cautiously listen to see if the seat leather in the back creaks on its own for no reason.
Pretty much.
All right. Barrel. There we go. So the drive back from the grocery store, you're listening to music, you're trying to zone out, you're tensed. It's a situation. Your mind is definitely on edge from just a variety of possibilities.
Yeah.
When going from the grocery store, you have to cross through a small section of woods just to get to the hotel, and in doing so, for no reason, your car dies. No sound, no volume, no lights, no dashboard. Your car's dead.
Elliot, he, like, does the normal human thing. He tries starting his car, tries starting it.
Click, click.
Leans back and just goes, well, fuck me. And he goes into his back pocket, grabs his phone.
No bars.
Of course. And he, clicks it, puts it back in his back pocket, steps out of his vehicle.
It's very dark out here.
He'll grab his flashlight from the glove box, I guess. He'll open the hood, click it on. There's not much he can do. He's not a mechanic.
What?
Don't trust you two.
Say again. I apologize about that.
He'll grab his flashlight. He'll get out of his vehicle, open up the hood of his vehicle, look around. He's not a mechanic, so he can't do much. He literally looks at it and goes, "Yep, that's an engine." And he kind of mutters to himself, and he goes, "If I get abducted or killed right now, Garrett's just gonna laugh at my funeral. Because he's gonna know that I was fucking right." And he locks up the car, and he takes his groceries, and he starts heading back the direction he came, I guess. And that, or if he knows he's in the middle, he'll start heading forward towards the hotel.
Heading toward the hotel, in the darkness, on a road, by yourself.
I got a flashlight.
You have a flashlight? On what?
Yeah.
On your phone?
Well, that, and I'm sure he has one in his glove box.
Okay.
I mean, especially if he's renting this car, he knows that he's going to go on investigations. He's probably going to need that.
I imagine you probably also grabbed an investigation kit.
Oh, yeah. If
So
that's
you
in my
probably have
vehicle.
that as well. The noise out here is astounding. It's that time of year when the cicadas have all come out to sing their wonderful song and share with the people. The sound of a tree cracking in the woods. Something falling, very large branch, echoes through the distance as you begin walking away from your vehicle into the darkness of the night. And then it's quiet. All of the sounds are gone. The cicadas have stopped singing. The owls have disappeared.
That's unnerving.
Your car turns back on. Cranks up, lights come on.
Look up in the sky and just, look around and just kind of look really confused. He'll walk back to his vehicle then. Are my doors unlocked?
Yes.
I'll check my phone.
You have signal.
It's raining here. That was ominous thunder that I just heard. That was fucking terrifying. I'm gonna get back into my vehicle. Also, my cat. Etsia, it's okay. I know it's raining and thundering. Come here. Oh, honey. Come here. I'm gonna get back into my vehicle and start driving, I guess. There's nothing else that I can do other than go, "That was fucking weird."
Alright.
Start driving.
Yeah, make a composure check.
Yeah.
Let's see how well Elliot's handling this at this point in time.
2, 2, and 2.
You're definitely handling it well. But that doesn't mean that inside that you're not.
No, he's like, he probably won't. I mean, he would admit it to Garrett, but yeah, he's like gripping the steering wheel a little tighter, and he's constantly doing this thing, and he's bouncing his other leg, and he probably grabs he probably goes through like 5 cigarettes through this entire trip out and back. So, but yeah, he's not feeling too great.
Awesome. It's about the end of our show.
It is.
Yeah. You've gotten a lot of distance at this point in time. The audience has definitely tossed in their 2 cents worth of what it could possibly be. You've got less than 2 weeks to find the killer before the next person gets killed.
I'm gonna fail at that, you know that. I hope you know that. I do not have faith in myself.
Well, we'll have to see. Ellie, it looks like you've got a lot of evidence coming before you. Now you just got to figure out how do you move from here on out. Who's the pink girl? What's this truck thing about? Is it a UFO? Is it a vampire? What's going around dicing people up and taking their guts? We'll have to find out on our next show. Our next meeting for Friday Night Frights is going to be the 14th of June. There is a gap because of conventions. So on the 14th of June, set your calendar to join us, and let's see what happens with Agent Jones, whether or not he can catch up with this vampire girl.
To be fair, I'm thinking that if there was something in the woods just then, it didn't attack me. Perfect opportunity to.
Are you sure it didn't attack you?
Well, it's attacking me mentally. Other than that, I'll know when he takes a shower and he notices a scar on his body. Then I'll just give it to you. He'll lose his composure. But
Motherfucker took my kidneys.
Well, no, more of like, you know, like those shows where like fucking they say that they were scratched by a demon or something, and they actually have the markings and stuff. If it's something like that, then yeah, I think Elliot's gonna be he's gonna lose his composure. So that, or it's gonna be a really hard test. But
because I mean, you were just in a car that wasn't running. You turned it off, and now it's running.
Yeah.
One of those moments lost time.
Have you ever been in dead zones before?
Me personally?
Yeah. My friend and I don't see him that often because of reasons, but my friend and I, we would go out driving late at night, and we would go in like the old hick part of towns in Grand Rapids, and like even out of Grand Rapids, in like Newaygo, I think that's the place. I'm not thinking. I don't know what it is, but we would go into the back roads where like there's only farmlands, because he likes driving crazy and likes doing like drifting and like everything like that, and off-roading. And we hit a dead zone and we were listening to music and it was just fucking silent. And I was like, well, if we get killed right now, no one's gonna know. Like, and it was like woods, and it was terrifying. But yeah, dead zones aren't fun, especially when you are listening to music and your whole vehicle just kind of like goes silent and you don't have reception. Your car's still running. Our truck didn't die, but like, but yeah, no, it's not fun.
I imagine so. I won't pull too much more time as our shows come to the end. 2 weeks from now, on the 14th, which is 3 weeks from now, Friday Night Frights will be returned. Please go check out our calendar on Original Box Set for our next shows. We do stuff on Mondays for Besties versus Beasties. We do stuff on Wednesdays. John plays Civ, and it's pretty interactive.
Yeah, it's fun.
We've got a Discord, so if your first time joining with us, we have a Discord, and I can find a button. Join us with the conversations and stuff. Yeah, here we go. Copy, paste. There it is. That's our Discord. Come hang out and say hello. We have a website. It has a lot of stuff on it. It's kept up to speed. The calendar right now is not up to speed because I gotta fix that. There's that. It has our calendar events. You get an idea what we do. We do Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday nights. Mondays and Wednesdays are guaranteed. Every other Fridays, do a double header Magic Shop, Friday Night Frights. Saturdays. Some Saturdays we are over on the Shadowcasters Network doing our Shattered Isles. It's kind of fun stuff. Come check us out. I would link you their stuff, but I don't see where that's at right yet. Gotta find a button to click to do that. Their stuff is pretty cool. Check out the Shadowcasters. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. Definitely. Alright, let's see what else we do. On Sundays, we have Shadowrun. This coming up Sunday, I do believe it is Shadowrun, which means I have another game I need to get ready for. I'm checking my calendar right now, and it says Shadowrun. So, this coming up Sunday, I will be running a session of Shadowrun in which the players have just recently got a hold of a picture of the president of UCAS.
Yeah.
The president of UCAS shaking hands and with individuals who are not so savory. They hate people, and they have to decide what they're going to do next. The first few words and chants were blackmail the president of UCAS.
I was going to say, Reddit.
Let's see how well that works out for them.
God.
I think I've covered a lot of grounds. A lot of you guys are the regulars, and I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Especially this late at night, too.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy this story. I enjoy where it's going. I enjoy you guys' interaction, the questions, and what is it going to be? Is it a vampire? Is it a werewolf? Is it a UFO?
Aliens.
Yes, aliens.
Is it just a person that's just fucking strong and paints themselves pink?
Yeah, it's like a 6-year-old girl who paints herself pink. She's just like...
It could be a short person. I'm not going to say the word that I'm thinking because I think it's offensive, but it could be a short person.
Okay. That was a big yawn I held back. But you guys have been fun to have with us on this adventure as Paige, or I should say Agent Jones, tries to figure out who's killing people. So, Paige, do you have stuff you want to share?
I think I'll leave it short because I honestly don't know what's going on with Shadowcasters right now. I know that they're still in calendaring out the streamathon and stuff, which hopefully they've already announced, because if which, I just announced it. No shock there, though. Other than that, I'm not doing Anarchy this Monday because Travis needs a new computer and he's hoping that he gets it by Monday, but it doesn't look like it. I literally only have Friday Night Frights and Shattered Isles right now. So
that makes me your game master.
Yeah. Oh, I have oh no, that was moved. Never mind. Other than that, I'm an artist. Hello. My name is Paige. Paige Jones. Yes, Elliot has the same last name as me because I wasn't creative when I first made him. And it sounds cool. Elliot Jones just sounds fucking awesome.
It does.
I like old names. Not a lot of people are named Elliot anymore. But as a real person, as a person that commits to society, as an adult, I'm an artist. I draw things. You can buy them. You can look at my artwork and go, hot damn, that picture of that girl that she drew in the water with the tree behind her, that's recent because I was depressed and I had nothing else to draw. You could buy that, and you can go, yeah, instead of all pencil it, ink that shit, and I will ink it for you. Just, you can find my email there and or DM me on Instagram. Instagram's where you can find me. You can follow me at Twitter, and you can read all the drama that's going on right now. Other than that, ominous thunder if you didn't hear that. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
Kind of wish we were still going because fucking rain. It's perfect.
I mean, I don't have anywhere to be till about 9 o'clock in the morning, but we already give our closing, and these people look like they're probably ready for bed.
Yeah. But other than that, my cat's going insane. Can't see her.
No.
Ezia!
Oh, we see something.
Wrong, baby? She's right there. Right there, if you can see it. I know that...
there she is.
Yep, she's freaking out because it's thunderstorming. And she's
Oh,
looking at me.
boy.
So, yep. That's all I have.
That sounds
Buy
great.
my artwork. Look at my banana mug. I'm running out of things to say. Buy my artwork.
How about we say goodnight?
Good idea.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It was a blast. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Good night, guys.